We are live. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. It is what? It is May 22nd. It's crazy. I hope everybody is doing well. Super excited for today's stream. We have a special guest. As you can see next to me, we've got Alan MandicReally, the man himself, and Jean Grey. Today we are going to be starting our LDO V1.5 Milo Mill build series, which is going. Oh, that's a great shot. The scratches. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We are. The game plan is for this stream, we're going to be doing this stream together, and then we're going to split off, and Alan's going to do the stream over on his own channel because he's going to be building it a lot quicker than I am with just the Wednesday streams. And then when we're both all done, then we will do a final build stream together on the sort of how was the build for you, and sort of where we're at that point. So welcome, thank you for being here. For anybody that doesn't know you, you should know Alan, but let's who are you and where can people find you?
Hey folks, if anybody doesn't know me, yes, I am Alan MandicReally Mandic. My two YouTube channels are, well, three, but two are MandicReally, where I call myself a mad scientist maker using 3D printing to make fun things and projects, like in the YouTube fashion, big and silly a lot of the time. And for streaming, my stream channel is Mandic Labs, where we kind of play around and experiment a little more, and that's where I will be doing my Milo build throughout the process. So, and that's where Jean is the star of the show over on that one. So, yeah.
Pretty kitty. I have links are in the description for anyone that's not subscribed. Definitely sub to both. The MandicReally is where I know Alan from, and I've been a fan for quite a long time. Especially, I love the storytelling and the aesthetic, man. I've told you since day one, I stand by it. But I love your just the way your shots are, the way you color grade, and just kind of your videos. So if you're not watching them, definitely check them out. And I know that you've been going pretty crazy with builds over on the Mandic Labs channel, working on a decked out Trident and this now. And then you also, there's another, I feel like there's another, is there another printer? Or no, it was the V0 that you finished up.
Yep. The Cookie CAD V0.2 that I brought to Rocky Mountain with me was the last other build. So I'm going to be moving cross country in the near future. For anybody who does know me, I'm currently in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we're heading to Portland, Oregon in like a month and a half. And so the only builds I'm worried about getting done are the Trident build and the Milo build. So I'm not transporting, incomplete projects. Yeah.
Yep. Is that Fabrico? Thank you very much for the 10 gifted subs. Let's see. I think I transferred sound effects over. Let's see if we got air horn. Perfect. So thank you very much. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I did want to, for both of us, give a thank you to LDO for providing the kits for both of us to build this. We are both really excited. I'll probably wait till we get a little bit further into this to ask, but you coming from car fabrication, I feel like have more experience. You have to probably have more experience than me working with just metal objects in general. But I'm curious to know, maybe once we get a little bit into this, if you have any experience running CNC or stuff like that. I'd love to hear that. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else really to cover before we just dive into it? There's two big boxes. I think our game plan is to get everything out of the boxes, see what actually comes in these kits, and then start doing some assembly. Unboxing's probably going to take quite a while here, so maybe we start with that. And we will be doing also our normal Polymaker filament giveaway. That'll probably open up in about an hour to an hour and a half. So if we get an hour or hour and a half in and somebody wants to remind me in chat, we will do that. Let's see. Nomad says, going to miss you. Philly is losing an amazing guy. Tunky says, thanks. Bob, how's it going? TJ, how are you doing? So, yeah, I'm excited for you.
I see a lot of familiar names and faces in the chat. Welcome. Thank you for being here, folks. So, hope you enjoy.
That's something no one's complained, which is usually a good sign. But let me know how we're sounding. We did a initial check a few days ago, and levels seemed okay, but let us know. Mod's mic is a little low. Someone told me that last stream. You told me that, Alan, actually, I think as well.
You sound good through the AirPod now, but okay. When we were on my speakers on my computer for our pre-check, it was really quiet.
So I'm at 0. Do you know if OBS lets you go above 0 decibels or no? You can't increase. No, you can't. That's the bummer because it's like if I told you this too, if I adjust it on the receiver, which I can do, I'm just worried. Let me see here. Mono receiver.
Oh wait, yes you can. If you go, you have to go into like click the 3 dots, advanced audio properties.
Okay.
And then find your audio device and you can ramp it up a little bit.
Okay. So I still have a road. So let's go. Where are we? There we go. Okay, so we'll try like 2 decibels. I don't want to get too crazy with it. Let's see. Okay, let me know if that's a little bit better. It's just a 2 decibel bump. I can go more if not. How's it going, Nathan? Mandic is a little bit higher. Okay. Yeah, let me know if that sounds a little bit better. Mandic
I'm a tad loud.
Actually a tad loud. Do you want me to drop? I can drop you from here if you want.
I can drop myself a little bit.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I can't. You're gonna have to do it.
Okay.
Because a couple of people have noted my audio sounds a little funky. That's because my audio is coming right through Skype, and usually it's processed through OBS with like I run a compressor and a couple little things just to equalize it in. So that's probably why.
The same noise filter running on me is also running on you at least though, so that should help a bit, but I don't have any compressor running on your end. Okay. How do we sound now? I just dropped Alan 2 and raised me 2, so hopefully that's a little bit better. I can do more, but I don't want to make anyone remember dB is logarithmic. I love the look on the cat. I love the look on the cat. Yeah.
She's in star mode.
This is actually a Gene stream. No change on mod. Okay. I will bump it 3 more then and see if that doesn't do it, I can bump it on the device itself. I don't want to blow out anybody's ears. Okay, so now we're on 5. I increased it by 5, so let me know if that sounds a little bit more. It should be hopefully a little bit. It's still in green. I'm like -10. I can bump it a little bit. I can also talk a little bit more aggressively. Okay, sounds better now. Okay, awesome.
All right.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, let's go ahead and I have so we'll do it similarly to how I've done these streams before, where the camera will primarily be large on me, but if there's anything specific that you're wanting to show, then I will shoot you over to full screen so that way we can swap out that way. Oop. Otherwise, it's difficult. I feel like it's one thing for interview, like just talking, but when you're working on builds or showing off things, it's so difficult for anyone to see it when it's really small. So cool, let's do it. So I'm gonna start with, it looks like the size of the boxes are labeled as 2 of 2. Wait, actually, do you want to show your colors, man? I feel like that's something we should show off too.
Sure. Well, especially since you stole my color. So
yeah, you've got full screen now, so I'll let you show off what you ended up doing.
I will say I'll let Daniel show his, but I wanted to do the same accent color that Daniel did, and then I saw his parts. Luckily, he started printing them before me, so I didn't get like it is what it is. So I went with this like toxic lime green. This is Polymaker's lime green ABS. So, and of course I modify everything I print. So I made a hex face one and then one with a black face, both running Hilbert curve on the bottom layer. But yeah, it's this weird toxic green. It doesn't come across amazing on stream, I don't feel like. It's like more pea green than it does. It's like a hair more pea green in person.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it?
It's a little more yellow in person.
Yeah, you said what color? I'm sorry. What filament manufacturer / color is it? It's called toxic green?
No, it's called lime green. I just call it toxic green.
Okay.
It's Polymaker ABS.
Okay.
So it's Polymaker ABS lime green.
So it looks really cool with the.
Let me grab a spool super quick.
Okay. Man of the Croc, thank you very much for 3 months. 2 of my favorite YouTubers. This should be fun. Well, thank you for being here, and yeah, we're excited. This sort of kind of just fell into place. I think a couple months ago, were we watching Steve's stream or something like that? And somebody said something in chat. I feel like that's how it started. I don't
remember. I honestly don't. I just know we were both getting our kits at the same time, so I was like, yeah that'll do. Yep. Yeah, like this is Polymaker's Pop Green ASA, and then that's Gene's butt. This is Polymaker's Lime Green ABS. So Ryobi Green. Yeah, it's closer to a Ryobi Green. You're not wrong about that, Mark. So, yep. that's the color scheme. That was really loud. That's the color scheme that I'm going with, and I've been modifying my parts here and there to make them a little different, throwing some hexes on everything, and just making
any other way.
my parts stand out a little differently and to my own print preferences. I'm probably going to release this design, the hex face version of the spindle holder, just because, you know, there's no custom spindle holders out there yet for a Milo, so I'm going to release one.
I'm curious if that's compatible. One mod that a few people have told me to do once this is all said and done is
the iron heart of iron.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering if, I know that it replaces some stuff on the backside with aluminum brackets, but what I don't know is if you can still use your cool faceplate on the cover. I don't
think so. I think it
gotcha.
Totally
like
replaces
spindle
this
at that point.
Yeah, I think it replaces this with like a pair of aluminum clamps, if I remember right.
Gotcha. Okay. It'd be cool if someone could. You should modify that so it's just a little bit beefier and it has like inlet slots, so it kind of sits around those aluminum brackets once they're in there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, or like some way of like, it'd be kind of fun to make it so you like shave off the backside of this and then bolt it to the clamps or something, because you've got a Milo, you can mill it off. Or I don't know. I got to talk to the Millennium folks about that kind of stuff and figure it out. So,
yeah, that's awesome. I really like the hexagons actually. I thought I was getting fancy with the instructions have you just print out the logo here and then glue it in, and me and super glue is a disaster. Granted, I've always used really runny super glue because it's the one that doesn't seem to, I don't have issues with the cap welding to it, and that's been a huge problem. So I did pick up, I think now I'm using Gorilla Glue like gel type, which is a little bit better, but I just ended up, I printed this on the X1 carbon and I just inlaid the logo, scaled it up a little bit and then joined the two together because I think in the default file, it has it a little bit smaller just so that way you can actually fit it in there. Like there's some built-in tolerances, so I scaled it up a little bit bigger to remove those tolerances, then printed it in. So this is Polymaker Gold ABS, which I originally was supposed to use this for the ERC FV1 that just never happened. And then for the accent pieces, they are Polymaker as well. They're not showing up quite so well with the, but it's Galaxy Black ABS, I want to say. I don't think I went with ASC, I think it's ABS. So I really, really like the Galaxy series. So yeah, this is the primary, and then gold is going to be the accent pieces. And then as far as printing out the pieces go, because this is an LDO kit, LDO has their like some specific parts that need changes to. And then Steve from Steve Builds has built the Milo. He was one of like the first people to build an LDO kit Milo. He modified quite a few of the parts. A lot of them are fairly small changes. I think like some of them he added, I think he said just some chamfers, like where it meets the build plate, which is similar to what Voron does to get rid of some of the elephant's foot. And then I think he made, I don't know on a part-by-part basis, I think there's some small tweaks. Like one of them, I believe he added a zip tie mount for to help with wire management. But you printed out, you said a combination, I think, of some of Steve's stuff, and then you modified some. Like yours is sort of a, right, like a mix of the two.
Mine's a mix of things. Like a lot of my parts I started with Steve's remixes of them, and then I tweaked those. And I didn't even realize I was doing it, honestly, because I loaded up into Fusion like all the step files in one go, and I kind of mix and matched them. But yeah, he's got a couple things like, I know his the anti-backlash nut holder for the Y and X axis on his actually use heat press inserts, where I don't think the original the original one does. I don't think, or it's slightly different in some way. Because I modified his pretty heavily actually for various reasons, and then I compared it to the original and just realized how drastically different it was. But yeah.
Gotcha. Let's see, Lilsmont Green, I just realized this isn't positron related at all and feels silly. Yeah, no, not positron related. Wait, Alan didn't embed metal in his parts? I don't think yet. No, he did not yet.
No.
John is saying that there's a printed front and back with the heart of iron mod, so that's cool. Because I do like, granted, a VFD or like the spindle looks cool as well, but I feel like sort of one of the things, the distinctions of the Milo is kind of the spindle mount is really what makes it look like Milo. So if there's something similar,
it's like the stealth burner on a Voron, you know. It kind of is
totally
like, identifiable.
It's the face of it. Let's see, have the parts. Do the parts have to be printed in ABS? Yes, they recommend ABS or... I think they recommend at least ABS or ASA, but I don't think they say that you can't do like polycarb if you want to do something like that, right?
There's a lot that plays into that. Like,
yeah, shrinkage as well as tolerances.
Shrinkage and also creep and give. Like nylon gives too much for like motion system components.
Flex. If you go with carbon, I wonder how. I haven't seen testing done on a side by side, but I know that true nylon. Granted, there's a lot of different types of nylon, but it's quite malleable. You know. Right. So
I think the primary recommendation is ABS or ASA. So especially like the spindle mount, you know, you're going to be the spindles. It's an air-cooled spindle, so it's going to be heating up, and you know, if you use PETG or something, it will fail.
It's going to cause issues. So, Maple Leaf's in the house. How's it going? He says, "Howdy, gentlemen." Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and start unboxing these. I've got I think are yours labeled? Mine says 2 of 2 and 1 of 2. So I'm gonna start with 1 of 2.
Cool. All right, Gene, you got to go. Say bye to everybody.
Bye, Gene. I'm sure we'll see you at some point. One thing I'm concerned about, so I might take stuff out to look at it and then put a lot of it back in the box, is just workspace area, man. I don't think I can get everything out and then still have room to
workspace management. Workspace management is always a problem in these.
And you've got... Sorry, this is your station right now that you're at. Is your like streaming specific one, or this is where you're doing everything right now as far as like video, A-roll, and stuff like that?
Yeah, this is everything at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just been using this one setup as everything for the moment. Anyway, I think the next studio I'm gonna plan a little more, like maybe have a dedicated space for Mandic Lab streaming stuff more, and then I could also leave stream builds kind of in place.
Yep.
And then not be in the way. The goal of the next space is definitely more open and larger space to not be tripping over everything.
If you figure out the secret to make that happen, I'd love feedback, man, because it's not quite Indiana Jones in here, but there's certainly booby traps left and right.
Oh, every time Ruby walks into the studio, she bumps her head on like a light on an arm or something.
Yeah, Erin's the same way. I'm like, I'm sorry. I usually try to warn her, like if there's something, I'm like, hey, there's a printer sticking out there, and watch out for that. But I can't get everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna peel back the curtain slowly, but there's a box inside of a box, so there's not a whole lot to show off yet. LDO always does an awesome job with packaging. I don't think I've ever received any kit that's had issues regarding shipping related stuff. So
gosh, this is an entire box inside of a box. Okay.
Yeah. You gonna try to lean it out or just go from within?
I think I'm just gonna go with it in here.
Me too.
I don't feel like having 2 boxes to trip over.
Yeah. Both the people I watch for content daily being live on stream, awesome. Hey, Kyber, how's it going? Kat wanted to be part of the process. I agree. Let me
switch to...
Out of curiosity, do you already have a few projects / ideas in mind for Milo or CNC parts once you get going with this, or?
Not especially at the moment. I kind of, especially, you know, with the timing of it coming into the move and whatever, hasn't really been that much of a thought. But I know like Ruby, my wife, for anybody who's not familiar, really wants to try making her own enamel pins. Currently she works with like Chinese manufacturers to get them made, and she'd love to play with like keeping that in house. I don't know that we could really keep up with like producing a bunch on a Milo, but it's worth a try. So
is it something that she like, is it for herself or she actually sells them? Like it's a like thing that she does with some of her artwork?
A bit of both. Because again, if anybody's not familiar, my partner is a tattoo artist, and so she'll give out pins to like clients, or she does sell them on her web shop, but she doesn't like market them, so she sells like 1 a month maybe.
Gotcha. It's not it hasn't been high priority as far as trying to get the pins out there so much.
No, it's just one of those things she just felt like doing, taking some old art and having some fun with it. So
yeah. That's awesome though. That is really cool. My wife has a jean jacket that's all decked out with pins that I mean, we never tried making them, but every time I go somewhere, if there's like a fun pin, I usually try to pick up one to bring back for the jacket.
Yeah.
So, Iconic Fabs here. How's it going? Congratulations on the. I saw that you posted about the Stealth Press Mini. Seems like it's doing really well. That's awesome. So, yeah, let's see what we got on top then. It looks like some
Panels.
Pretty thin. Fairly thin top. This is I think what, like a 3mm panel, it seems like, for the electronics. Let's see. Uh-oh, did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I was just checking. I hadn't posted on Twitter about the
Gotcha.
we were live. So
I've got, like, OBS is the bigger screen, and then I've got you, like, sort of wedged between chat and the OBS, so I couldn't see your face in that moment. I was like, did he freeze?
Yeah, I got a lot of things going on at the moment, too, on the screen, so.
Why is this feels stuck, even though there's a thumb.
Mine came up.
Did it?
Oh. There's the big metal supports, machined aluminum for the
whole side of it, right?
the Z-axis. The Z-axis frame supports, yeah.
And I don't think, like, I'm pretty sure that this is not
This is a mod.
Standard.
Yeah, this
okay,
is a mod.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah, the default Millennium machine design is printed components because they anticipate you would use the printed parts and then mill these yourself on the Milo, but LDO just cut that off and went right to the milled pieces.
Yeah, they're nice. I mean, especially because they're anodized as well. They look really sleek. It's kind of cool. I mean, I like with 3D printers. Like, I mean, a lot of times when people get asked, "What have you printed with your 3D printer?" It's, you know, upgrades for my 3D printer. But I like the idea of, you know, similar thing, but in this realm where you, for example, the spindle mounts start with what you got, but then as you're learning CAM, well, I guess it wouldn't be really CAD in that case because you have but you're learning the CAM and toolpath generation, upgrading stuff, and having access to a mill like this sort of does increase what you can possibly upgrade on your 3D printer as well. They kind of feed back into each other, which is pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially like I've got a project in the not too distant future I was thinking about. Well, whatever. My stream knows about it, so I can say it on here. I've got a Rat Rig 500 build that I'm intending to do, and I want to put a tube on it, the tube hot end, to keep up with the huge build volume of the machine. But the Rat Rig toolhead uses machined, like a machined aluminum mount for the Rat Rig toolhead.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, with the Milo, maybe I can make my own. Like I can farm that out to PCBWay or something, but I could also just make it. So that might be a fun way to integrate the Milo into a project in the future. Yeah,
that's super cool. Tube on a 500 sounds like an awesome pairing. It sounds like a really good pairing. Let's see. Frosty Fish, how's it going? Okay, so underneath that, it looks like we have rails, a lot bigger than bigger than the rails I'm used to seeing, and they also look like all of them have 2 carriages on them. So
yes, they're all double carriage MGN 15s. So
yeah, these are
beefy.
Pretty beefy. Yeah. So it's like two longer ones, which I'm assuming is for the X-axis. Does that sound right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Y and Z. Z looks like, I'm assuming Z is probably the shortest of the bunch. Is that,
I would assume, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got probably Z, probably Y, and then definitely X is the longer of the lot. And then anodized. Oh, we got some lead screws down here.
Lead screws and a pair of 40-20 machined 40-20 extrusions.
Yeah, and they're pretty. I say this a lot, and I know they're black extrusions, but LDO black extrusions look prettier than like what you get on just like an Ender. Like there's a beautiful like sheen to them that I first saw it when I built the Switchwire, and I went with black because I wanted to do just a kind of more stealthy build. They're really nice. If anyone hasn't seen LDO black extrusions, they're definitely made. They're made nice.
I think the difference is I think theirs are shot blasted before they're anodized.
It gives it that bit of that not texture really, but slight, very very subtle.
Enough that it like catches the light that kind of makes it look like it's shiny. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what I've heard too. That's what they do. So yeah, lead screws, and these are all, it's like a bunch of slot. Oh, cool. Oh my gosh. I'm okay. So this is funny. I've got to really quick just say something about this. These are dummy, like dummy rails. So that way, when you take the bearing blocks off, you don't have to worry about balls popping out as you're sort of setting them off. So I didn't know that they came with this build, and so I. Over the last 24 hours, have been attempting to print out the ones that come in the repository, and I don't get it. I've had no issues with this, like, build printing parts. These things have been failing on me left and right. I tried standing them up, which is how they recommend it, and even with the brim, for some reason at the very top where it's doing this bridging, it keeps knocking it. So you don't have to print these out. I wasted quite a bit of time. So it does come with dummy rails, which is nice based off of my experience with trying to print these ones out. So that's cool.
I can see why those would fail, but
yeah,
they
just not fun to print. They usually have always come with the rails, so you know, I was hoping they would. I just didn't want to get to, since we need to play around with rails early on, I didn't want to get to that point and be like, oh well, I'm, you know, SOL. So here's some beefy. These are some beefy extrusions. I've never.
Holy, jeez!
Did you take yours out too?
I'm getting them out now. They're U-shaped. Looks like 80/40s.
Yeah.
U-shaped 80/40s.
I've never seen extrusions like this. Well, thickness-wise, I think the largest I've actually used is a 60, like 230s tied together. So this thing is really, beefy, man.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, it's what we want. I've got a question for you, actually. I know that I've heard or seen with this build that there's a section, I think it's in the base, where they recommend mixing sand and epoxy to add additional weight. Is that something you're planning on doing, or you don't know, TBD?
TBD.
Okay.
TBD, but I would certainly like to.
Yeah. I know he didn't do it initially. I don't know what his plans are long term, but it's certainly like a messy thing. I would not do that on stream. If that's,
well, God, no.
That would be a disaster.
Yeah, no, that's definitely an off-stream thing, and also I've got to think about moving mine cross-country, so I will probably put it together and then do it later.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see, Deanna, how's it going? That matte surface, yeah, they're really pretty. Nomad says, after working closely with Jason on all this, they really are proud of their presentation of parts. They will go the extra mile to make it special. Yeah, I agree. Jason's awesome, both in production side of things, like making kits, but also the support. I've seen and have had people reach out that are not, you know, anyone like making content on the products, and Jason does awesome things for like anybody in the community, really. So I definitely a fan of LDO and Jason and the team. They're fantastic. So let's see, Keith, hello, I am here now. How's it going? Wonder if that will help with resonance and vibrations. I imagine it would. The more weight in the base, I don't think would be a bad thing for a mill like this.
More mass will keep it from resonating, especially the empty pockets in the frame.
Yep.
And yeah, because like you got to look at this is basically a knee mill. So going back to what you were talking about earlier, this design is what we would call a knee mill, and knee mills generally, like a Bridgeport that a lot of people know, are cast iron in a lot of their pieces because cast iron is extremely good at transferring and reducing resonance and being rigid. So, you know, the extrusions, while being a very usable item and allowing us to build these things, obviously we can't deal with a foundry and cast steel or iron.
No. I can't.
But yeah, no, filling a frame can really help to reduce resonance in that way.
You're calling it, you said, I thought, first time you said, I thought you were calling it a mini mill, which is what I heard, but you're calling it a me mill?
Knee mill, Knee, like your knee.
Oh,
that's the technical
mill.
Term.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
knee mill.
Okay. Yeah, that's not at all what I thought. I was like, yeah, mini mill, and then you said it again. I was like, that doesn't sound like you said mini mill. Okay, so knee mill is what they're typically called. This like form factor of
form
mill.
factor.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. Man of the Croc, I got my belt tensioner meter 2 days before your video came out. Nice. It's funny, I actually looked the day before it was launching because they've been, West 3D's had them, but in really short supply, and they were out when I wanted to get them. Then I ordered it, and before my video launched, I saw they were already sold out, and there was only 2 of the parts kits available, and I was like, oh, those aren't gonna last. And it was like a few, like, I mean, not a few minutes, but like in the first hour of the video, chat was just full of, I can't even get these. And I'm like, this always happens to me. Like, I don't plan videos around inventory not being available, you know?
You also landed on a really bad weekend.
They're moving.
Because they moved, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they probably had more, or at least could like put more into production, and they just
I should have let them know the video was even coming to prepare them. I messaged Dan like 24 hours prior, so that's on me as well. Yeah, you know, things happen. So okay, Nemo is what Troy's saying. So bottom looks like it's just filled with more more of these extrusions. Yep. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'm scared. I've been stacking these on top of the 2.4. I'm gonna swap the load. Let's see. Let me go move this on the ground. Move this over here. It's a game of musical chairs today, I think. So I guess since we are moving on to the second box here, I will ask the question then. When it comes to stuff you did with all the car fabrication for all those years, was using a mill ever part of it or not so much?
Not a lot, but it was.
Okay.
Not CNC.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked in not small, but like largely smaller hot rod and custom car shops. So like we would often have a Bridgeport, a knee mill, like everybody is used to. So I did a lot of manual machining. Not a lot. That's not fair. But I did manual machining.
Okay.
I did manual machining on a regular enough basis, but I have zero CNC experience. There's going to be a whole new adventure for me, cam and all that. So
yeah, cam's wild, man. I've like, I don't even know if I can say I've dabbled. Like I've had a CNC machine for a bit, and I've played around with it a bit, but part of it was that like prior to a year and a half ago, we didn't have a garage, and there was only so much I felt comfortable doing in my living room with a CNC machine in an apartment, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping now, the primary concern I have with this is aluminum shavings before there's an enclosure for it, and having a kid. Like, and myself. I mean, they like are in the garage. There's plenty of times where I'm wearing flip-flops, and that sounds like a terrible combination. So, you know. Let's see. Nicest here. How's it going? $5 says that box has a box in it. That's a bet that I'd probably be willing to take tomorrow. CNCs are loud. It depends. Like I have a Shape Poco in the garage, and the shop vac or the dust extraction is louder than most of the standard milling operations, especially with just woods. I'm sure aluminum is gonna scream. I would imagine so, but I don't know.
Yeah. In my new studio, I can't show photos of it because you just find the Zillow listing for it. I showed Daniel a little bit. My new studio has like a loft that somebody built for like storage, and at first I was like, oh, I'll take that down because it's just limiting my headroom in this one area. But actually, the more I've looked at it, I think I'm probably gonna like enclose it and like put rock wool in the ceiling and walls, and then put my CO2 laser and this in that space so that I can like. No,
down below, down below. Yeah. Okay, so for sound dampening is what you're getting at then for that area.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So enclosed, dirty space / yes, Hobo Banana. We finally found a place. I haven't had a chance to really make a point about that yet, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly new. We just talked about it, 3 days ago, roughly, or so. So
there's a box.
There's a box in a box. Hey, Lee Smith, how's it going?
So yes, we did find a new home. Got a studio that's at least a garage, which is going to be my studio. That's at least the size of this space. It's a unique shape, I guess, but it's going to be fun. So.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm curious to just hear about the how you end up liking it out there. I mean, Oregon, from what I've seen, is beautiful. I know someone that when I moved here to Idaho, he moved to Oregon a couple months prior, and we don't chat really that much, but it sounded like last time we spoke, at least, that they really enjoyed it, him and his partner.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It looks like it's gonna be. I've only been to Portland once, but now I'll live there, so whatever.
Yeah. And you're going during what is weather like during July-ish there? Do you know? I mean, I know Oregon in general. I think like Washington gets a fair bit of rain, but like is summertime? Is it pretty hot? Is it mild? I don't know I don't really know what Oregon's like weather-wise.
Neither do I. I'm gonna find out.
Perfect. Perfect.
I think I saw somebody in chat said they live near Deanna there. Yeah, said that I've lived in Portland for almost 10 years. There you go.
Was a box,
yeah, so.
I was right. Here's $5.
Nomads, thank you for the $5. I bet there was a box and I was right. Here's $5. Thank you very much.
Well, Nomad, you won the bet.
Yeah, so it should be, yeah, Del Mar. Wait, no, yeah, I don't know. Oregon is gorgeous. Did you get a shirt? Oh, dude, cool.
It's the LDO
apron?
Apron.
That's
which I made
cool.
a point of stealing one at Rocky Mountain, so.
I didn't realize, I forgot. I talked to Jason for a minute. It was so busy in that corner next to HughForge and LDO, but I forgot to ask for one, so that's pretty sweet. So
you got one anyway.
An apron, that's awesome. We've got documents inside, which usually the documents are like just okay. Yeah, it's like a parts list and a certificate. I don't really, there's not a whole lot to go through in there, so we'll keep that out. We've got
there's an adorable little pink bag with safety glasses in it.
Yeah.
Safety glasses, yep.
I'm not even here. I'm gonna let you show them. Let's go guess full. I can't even get mine out right now.
Okay, yeah.
The tie on it for
glasses
some reason.
In a little pink baggie here. So
it's
genuine
cool
3M safety glasses. That's good that they include them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some people coming from just 3D printing and don't have any sort of, shop glasses or something like that. So
yeah, we got the Milo Fly CDY 6 board, the board that's shipping with us anyway.
Yeah, and this one has. Does this require? No, it doesn't require a pie, does it? It has, or does it require? No, I don't think it does. This has both.
Yeah.
Oh, because we're flashing. I'm sorry. I'm so used to Clipper. We're flashing rep wrap firmware.
I believe it's rep wrap based firmware. Okay. So yeah, it'll run on the Milo. I do believe. So
I don't think I've used. This is a, what was it? You said it's a Fly
CDY 6.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take a further look at that when we get to the electronics. The only Milo board I think I've used is the one on the VZBot build, which is a Super 8, I want to say is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
CNC starter kit, that's cool. Is that just like, oh, sweet. This is neat. Okay. Let me see here.
Lee Smith, I think there have been some minor updates since the earlier kits, 1 or 2, but I don't really know what the changes have been in the LDO kits.
Yeah, there definitely were, because I know that everyone that got a Gen 1 kit, like the first batch, received a follow-up package with a few items, but I also have no idea what exactly that entailed. I think it was some electronics stuff, like maybe wiring, like a harness. I don't exactly know.
Yeah.
So we've got, what do we have in here? We've got, this looks like shims. What are these? Yeah, they are shims. So there's some shims, some more shims. There is test. Oh, dial indicator. Neat. I don't actually know if I own a dial indicator. So
I think I threw mine out in the move.
Did you? Okay, yeah. So
mine
neat.
took a hit somewhere along the line. So a pair of 1, 2, 3 blocks.
Oh, that's cool. I do have a pair. I have a single pair, but I am not upset to have like maybe a pair down in the garage or something like that. That was cool in here. I got those on stream. A few people during a build were like, "You don't have a pair of blocks?" I was like, "No, man, I don't." so yeah, that's cool. Neat 1, 2, 3 blocks. We've used these quite a few times. I like them when I can use them. I like them more than using a angle, like a square, the machinist square. Some like these. I need to get a better machinist square. I don't love these ones. What are you using for machinist square? Is it anyone
Cheapies.
Specific? Okay, gotcha. Same as me then.
I got cheapy Amazon ones.
Yeah. Same.
Now, just working on printer builds, I haven't worried about it too much. Now with this, I'll probably invest in a better set.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be time as well. I'd be curious to test with a more expensive square how square my squares are. I mean, I assume they're square. They had decent ratings, but
I've done that before where I think I did a TikTok some years ago where I stood in like in Lowe's and I just started checking squares against each other and like none of them matched up.
Awful.
Like no two squares were the same.
So it's the one, you had one job, square, and that was to be square. It looks like we got some call-outs. It says ER16 call-outs. So there is a 3mm, a 6mm, and then there also comes with some, looks like it comes with some end mills. Okay, so these are pin gauges, which I'm guessing are going to be for use with the Z probe, right? I feel like that's typically what these are primarily used for. And then there are a set of end mills, which is nice to get you started. There's a single flute. What is this? Single flute end mill, and this is a. Oh, these are kind of fancy actually. They've got that like rainbow coating on them, which I think is supposed to help with keeping cool when you're working with metals. Which I'll take any help I can get starting out with. So it's a couple.
There's also ball end mill and another single flute.
It's weird seeing them in millimeters, and the only reason I say that is like I love millimeters, and for 3D printing it's the only thing I understand, but the few little bits I've done with a CNC, it's always been like 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch end mills. So seeing 6mm, 3mm, 6x12, 6x22, I dropped my end mill. It's gonna trip me out figuring out what's what.
Yeah.
A little bit here.
Yep. I know Bearded Bucket asked in the questions, and we're going to get to it in a minute, I'm sure, but our kits, I believe, came with 110 volt spindles, not 220.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I believe as well. Do you have two of my favorite YouTubers doing a collab? What's going on, Mr. Melted? Now this is the collab we needed. Thank you guys. I get distracted, especially when I'm not used to like I've done collab streams, but like I'm such a squirrel that I have to remember like there's also. Chat, I remember Modbot using soup cans for tramming the switch wire. It wasn't the switch wire, it was the Sobel SV06, and that worked pretty dang well. 1 liter Peter, how's it going? Cheap squares and cheap levels aren't known for accuracy, that's fair. Is this compatible with 3D probes? I don't know. I know that I was on a call with Steve a couple weeks ago when he was playing around with some aluminum, and he did have a different type of probe that might be a 3D probe. Okay, Mr. Melton says yes, it's compatible. Hey, additive Adam. Okay, so I don't remember
if the default firmware is compatible with it. I think because there's a couple different firmware options for this machine. There's like the default one currently, which I forget what it is. But there's their own Millennium OS that they're working on.
That's what Steve was using, and that's the one that I think would be compatible with.
That's the one that does probe use 3D probe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one they're trying to like make the default moving forward, but they're still working on it. So.
Gotcha. That's good to know. Yeah, that's really good to know. Magnetic stand, which is this for the dial or for the gauge possibly?
Yes, it's a holder for the gauge.
Cool. Oh, so this. Neat. Okay. Magnetic base. That's cool. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna probably leave that. I'm gonna leave that out. Just the dial and that and the 1, 2, 3 blocks, and I'll put everything. I'll check out. It's gonna be fun picking up trash in the studio after this. Okay, so let's throw these back in here. What are you moving on to next?
I've just pulled out the power supply. It was on top of the spindle, so looks like a.
Is it
It's a Morn Sun.
Okay.
It's banned. It's banned. It's a Morn Sun. Is it 350 watt?
It's in the spindle box?
No. I'm sorry. It was on top of my spindle box.
Huh. Okay. Your layout must be a little bit different than mine. Yeah. So Morn Sun. I imagine maybe they. Well, yeah, because we've had these for definitely before the ban. Like I think we got
definitely
them, yeah before Rocky Mountain. I'm pretty sure. At least they showed up just right before that. So I'm curious to see how that affects things. I know there's going to be like a race to go with Meanwells or find other alternatives. So I wonder how that. I mean, I know Meanwell's a massive supplier, but I still wonder if that will have any effect on. Like if there's going to be a sort of a choke point until they can sort of ramp up to meet all these suppliers that are, going to be looking for new vendors.
Yeah. No, I can see some issue in that.
Yeah. Let's do want to do the spindle motor, the 110 spindle motor?
Yeah, let's get those out.
So I think that's definitely something I originally thought I was going to be sourcing it because I thought they were only doing 220, and I believe that was the original plan. I know a lot of the vendors were selling 110 add-ons or whatever that they had sourced, I think, locally. But
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that they have included it with the kit. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I actually wanted a 220 personally.
Oh,
Because my shop, I've got 220.
of course you
But
do. Of course.
yeah, but I'm fine with this. Like, I like testing things the way that the majority of people will either get or use them, so it does make sense.
Yeah. This looks sweet. I didn't realize that it's actually LDO branded. I wonder who's making these.
Who knows? Shenzhen, man, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says LDO ADF 110 1.5 24,000 RPM. I'm assuming that's max, probably. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's 1 to 24,000, so I'm in that range.
Oh, that's the range. Okay, I missed that. Yep. I read it as I to 24,000. I'm glad you're here to clarify. This is why we need all the help we can get around here. And then 110 8 amp. Yep, yeah. And then 400 hertz. So this is cool. I've never used a true VFD spindle. The Shapeoko I have downstairs is using a trim router, and then the smaller CNC that I have is using basically a small spindle, not like a big VFD spindle like this. So
yep.
It's got some heft to it. I mean, I definitely see. I mean, I don't know how heavy do you think this thing is, dude?
Oh, 20 pounds.
It's got more. Yeah, someone said that boy looks heavy. It definitely is not. Since it's round, be careful where you place it. If this thing falls near your toe, it's over. It's game over, man.
No, thank you.
So yeah, that's wild. Okay, cool. Do you want to open? I'll let you. If you want to open the actual like controller side of it next, I'll give you full screen for that. I think that's the other.
What one? What are you talking about?
The inverter, right? For the.
Oh, the VFD.
Yeah.
I don't see the VFD yet. Oh no, I found it. Okay. Yep, got it.
Someone says, is your kit 220? Nope, both of our kits are 110. I believe, so maybe Alan knows differently, but I believe by default, all US ones are gonna be 110, but that might be, for the sake of inventory not being a nightmare, I don't know how they would let you choose between 110 and 220 easily, unless they started shipping these separately, but then that adds cost to it. So again, if someone searches differently, let me know, but I believe US will be 110 by default. That's my assumption.
To my knowledge, that's the same.
Okay. PF Dennis, thank you very much for the 10 gifts and memberships, man. We'll do Hadouken for you. Thank you, PF. Happy Wednesday. Okay, what have we got there? That's definitely different looking than it should be different looking than the 220 because it's not, but
yeah. I'm gonna have to take a look around about this too, because Steve's got his tilt mod for this, but he's using the 220. So
I didn't print. I don't think I printed it because I was not sure. Maybe I did print it, man. I don't actually know, but it looks smaller definitely than the 220 one, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen the 221 in person.
Okay.
Well, hey, there's Steve in the chat.
Himself.
Yeah. So VFD, so variable frequency drive. This is what's actually going to drive the motor off of the control input from the main board with the firmware. So this is the interface for controlling the motor. So what a lot of applications in like milling or larger machinery use is a VFD variable frequency drive rather than like PWM control or something. It's over my head how it works, honestly.
Yeah.
If I saw it on a scope, maybe it would make sense, but yeah.
Me as well. Delar's saying vendors might also do swap or hold inventory. Yeah, I guess it just depends. It's probably going to be on a case by vendor by vendor basis on what they want to do for, the sake of simplicity in their inventory. But maybe some will offer a 220. I don't know, for an added cost. I'm curious, Steve, since you're in chat. I know this is. It would probably be easier if I held up something that actually meant something size-wise, but if this is my hand on the side of this, does this look bigger or smaller than the T20 variant? We're asking if you're just talking about your tilt mod. Also, Steve, thank you for the 10 memberships, man. Let's see, for Steve. Steve's
Hey, we got Millennium Machine in the house too.
Oh, cool. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it feels like, from the videos I remember seeing, this definitely seems, yeah, I don't have the banana for scale, unfortunately, right now. I think it's, I don't know where to put it. Depends on the hand. Looks about the same size, 71 measure. Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds great. If it works, I would.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
It looks like it's about 90 millimeters wide. I just measured,
Okay.
but that's all I measured. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool
Figured out.
if it would work. Depends on the hand. Yes. Oh man, it's a party. Welcome. Okay, so next, what do we want to look at? Hardware kit, maybe? That's probably just all the. That's gonna be hardware is gonna be interesting. Just keeping all that organized.
Aw, a cute little din rail.
Wait, I didn't. Oh, that is adorable. that is a very small din rail. Bunch of Allen keys, zip ties. Oh, nice. It's got the. Will these work on? No, these won't work on a like Pine-Sol / TS100. These are for standard soldering irons. The tips included. Let's see, pulleys.
Oh,
Are you using, out of curiosity, like, are you just using soldering iron, or have you built yourself a press of sorts?
I have not built myself a press yet.
Okay.
Adam Vector 3D sent me one of his VLMPs.
Oh, sick.
Forever ago, and I want to stream building it, and then every
Yep.
time I think about it, I work on a machine, not on that.
Yep. No, I totally get it. I held off for a really long time, and then we did the stealth press, which has been really nice. The stealth press mini just came out, which honestly I think probably would work for 90% of what I need and take up less space. But I don't know. Maybe I'll end up building one of those for smaller stuff. But it's been nice. I'm fine by using by hand. But it's fun to use as well. It gets some like fun points. That's for sure. So. Let's see, a bunch of lead screw nuts. We've got our couplers. There's it looks like spider couplers, which is nice. I like spider couplers a lot. We've got 608Z bearings, lots and lots of 608Z bearings. Set screw shaft collars. VFD have any brand, or is it no name? Was there a brand on it? I didn't see.
Millennium listed what it is in the chat. I didn't see it on there, but
Okay. Yep, I didn't either. Lesson learned today: braided cables suck whenever you need to solder anything. Braided cables suck when you need to solder anything. You mean to power it? Like it gets caught on things, or cable chains. This is corner brackets, and then all of our bolts are inside of this bag, which
big old bag. Yeah,
I feel like I'll probably end up printing out a bunch of little like Gridfinity bucket type things to label and put them in, because that's one of my biggest things, man, is like with how squirrely I am and how long it takes for a build, like I just lose stuff, and it also just takes forever fumbling through different hardware. I'm hoping because of the size of this, it won't be quite as bad as say a V0 build, but you know, we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, like right now, my studio, every time I go to grab a Voron box, I'm like, oh, that's a Voron 0. I need a Trident. Or like, yeah, I keep running into that issue back and forth.
Yep. Trying to cut braided parts off. To solder the cable seems nearly impossible. Yeah, for braided stuff, I always have to remove it if I'm gonna be working on it. It doesn't. I like braided cable. So I actually like the cables. One of my favorite cable types, I don't think I have it right here, is like the Prusa style that just wraps around it, because I find them fairly easy to get on. I think they look nice. The sort of ones that you squeeze together and then they expand. The biggest issue I have with that is the end always gets sort of frail, and like I've tried using a light. What's your trick for keeping that from coming out? Like I know usually heat shrink is what's applied. Is it just a heat shrink, or do you burn the edges? What do you do, Alan?
When I cut it, I use a lighter to melt the end real quick,
Okay.
And then after sleeving, I heat shrink it
Okay.
to keep it in place and hold. And I primarily use glue, adhesive lined heat shrink, so it glues itself in place.
Okay. I just
because I do a lot of cable sleeving. So
yeah, I know you do with all like the color matching. I particularly right now can think of the Merc build that you did, but I have always used the same style of heat shrink up until recently, and then I bought a set off Amazon of all black because the ones I had were a bunch of different colors, and I didn't really love it for various builds. And then I used it and was like, what's this gooey stuff? I'd never, the one I've just used forever was I didn't know the adhesive was even a thing on the inside, but that's kind of cool if you're saying you feel like it works better of gripping onto that mesh and not letting it slide out from underneath the heat shrink.
Oh, it absolutely does. Yeah,
okay.
No, it grips the mesh, and it also kind of bonds through the mesh into the wire, and then, I overlap the end of it so it caps it off, so then it bonds to the wire. Like, I love it personally, but it has, like, for particular use cases, like if it's something that's in motion, like an umbilical or something like that, that's going to be moving, I don't use it because when it glues, it becomes much more rigid and it creates a stress point. So I use the non-adhesive lined.
I noticed that recently. What printer? I don't know what. I'm sure I'll see it and I'll remember. But just recently I did that and I thought to myself, man, this has no give. So that's interesting. Yep. Okay, so because just the adhesive, it's a thicker. It adds thickness to the whole thing, and that adds rigidity to it.
Yeah, and also they're usually, because like shrink wrap, heat shrink has ratios too.
Sure, like a rating, right? Like 3 to
1, 4 to 1, 10 to or 2 to 1 are the common ones, and like 4 to 1. If you're shrinking way down, it's gonna be thicker because it's filling into a tighter, so it makes it bigger.
Yeah.
So like I've got a drawer dedicated to heat shrink.
I need to get on that level.
Yeah.
Is it, last question on heat shrink I've got is, when it comes to you sourcing it, is it something you just get a bunch of it over on Ali, or do you Amazon it? Like, where's your primary source? I need to stock up on it. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah. I everywhere. Like, I'll get like basic kits off of Amazon for like just the quick, simple things. Or then like Mauser Electronics is a really good source if you really need like a specific size. But they're expensive because they're like industrial supply. Yeah. So Mauser's that's the one I used to use a lot when I did car stuff because I needed like very specific sizes. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Amazon's primarily where I've been getting them from. But I had to order a part. I actually had to order a part from Mauser a couple weeks ago, and it was not cheap. Not related to that at all. It was a PCB connector. So
yeah.
Let's see. Milo is a few stops away, and I'm getting ready for an hour-long meeting at work. I'm so not going to be paying attention in the meeting. Good luck with the meeting, Luke.
I'm there,
Chris. What's that?
I'm kind of there with them on that because my FL Sun S1 is supposed to be getting delivered like any minute now, and I'm kind of like I keep checking my watch.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you before the stream, but I didn't get a chance if it has showed up yet. I'm excited
it's just
to hear
bouncing around.
Thoughts on it? I think Chris technically can drop you a kit for Celpro Zero if you're willing to build it. It's really nice. Rumor has it. That's awesome. I wonder if Millennium Nomad will start an upside down mill. Lighter zip ties. Hey, what's up, Aaron? If you want to get the exact part you order, use Mauser. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. But it's also like Mauser's great, but it's also like if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, forget it. Because like they have like Deutsch connector terminals for your various connectors, but you got to find the exact right one or it won't fit right, and it's like a 10-digit part number. Yeah.
It's like it's very very specific.
Yes.
It's not for just I want a range of things. Like it's exactly what you're needing. Let me get that.
Exactly.
Steve says chip clearing would be great on the upside down mill. I agree. But work holding would be awful, I would imagine. This is pretty. Did you open this yet? This is just the
cable kit. No.
Cable kit. Yeah, this is really pretty.
Ooh.
So everything has got ferrules on it. I don't know what this connector type is for the top of the spindle, but it's nice. It's got threads, so that way, if it gets tugged on, which hopefully it won't much, but it's not gonna pop off. It'll make sure your connection is nice and secure. And these are all like heavy duty. Man, compared to printer stuff, like very heavy duty wires, which is awesome to see. Limit switches. Yeah, LDO always does a great job with wiring. Usually they give you more slack than you really need, but I would always prefer a little bit more than a little bit less. So that's awesome.
Yeah, looks like the sleeving says high chain. I guess that's the brand, high chain cable. I'm gonna assume this is probably constant flex, like meant for the movement of a mill.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they've got to be, I would imagine the sleeving has to be rated for the cable chain since that's their intention to have it run through it. So
yeah,
it feels, I mean, on the outside, the one or two that I felt feels fairly similar to the sleeving that comes on like your kind of standard desktop, you know, power supply cable, but it might not be. I don't know. I'm not a, well, look-wise, it does. Maybe a little bit glossier.
Yeah.
The LDO USB cable for Nighthawk was great. Wiring the V6 thermistor to the Ender 2 thermistor didn't work. What a surprise. I think next week I will finally be using my Carvera. Nice. Yeah, Aaron got a Carvera a couple weeks ago, and I've been bugging him every single week. So, you know, how is it? Do you like it? And he's like, I haven't been able to use it yet. I'm like, dude. Hey, hon. Happy stream day, Monbot Mandic. That's my wife. Hi. Thank you.
Hello, happy stream day to everybody. I had the motor kit here. Let's take a look at some beefy motors.
Okay, you've got camera. I'll let you open this one up.
Yeah. So LDOs, I get the end part number is 2804, so I guess they're in the same family as the high power motors. But we've got NEMA 23s, triple set of them.
Beefy
on this thing. Yeah, no NEMA 17s pushing this stuff when you're fighting the resistance of cutting through metal. You're gonna have some drag on your system. So yeah, especially since these are like direct drive, not reduction in any way. So, or at least the X and Y axis, that is.
Do you know what drivers they're just using? Look like standard Palulus, right? We're not using external beefier drivers, I don't think, with this. At least not the standard config.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually didn't take note of that. I wonder if it's not in another box here.
Okay. I know. I didn't see. Yeah, I didn't see. Let me see. Where's the electronics? I've got the.
There's another electronics box here.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably in there because I'm looking right now. The Mellow box is not.
2209s.
Okay.
Yep. Simple, plain 2209s.
I wonder if there's a benefit of going with external as a mod, like in the future.
I don't know. It would all depend on what amperages or what you're pushing to them. Yeah. That could be fun. Do a 48 volt, conversion.
Yeah. Okay, this is. Oh, that's your. Okay, so it's a skinny. That's why I didn't see the power supply. I didn't realize it's the little.
Oh yeah, it's like the UHP form factor.
Yeah, which makes sense given the footprint of this. Is sort of skinny yet long.
What's in this expansion board? I'm in the electronics box, the smaller rectangular one.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, there's there's emergency stop, which is going to be very useful for learning cam. We've got Wigos. We got the expansion board. It looks like, is it big MOSFETs?
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume, purely guessing on this, since I haven't even looked at the wiring diagram yet, but I'm betting this is probably for the emergency shutoff.
Okay.
Purely a guess, because there's two relays. They're not MOSFETs, they're relays.
Yeah, okay.
There's a pair of relays.
10 amp, 5 volt DC, 250 volt AC.
Probing, motherboard signal for the probe. So, yeah. Just some additional expansion for it, an I/O board.
That's cool. 2209s with NEMA 23. Yeah, that maybe raised my eyebrow too nice, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll build it as is and see how it all does. I'm assuming that, let's see, works. There is one spare. Oh, cool. There's a spare one. They run the enable line for the VFD. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I don't know.
Wagos, a pair of fans for electronics cooling, 40 millimeters.
Yeah, I like the big kill switch.
Replace those with some Noctuas, probably.
I haven't. It's funny, man. I don't know if it's just because I've gotten like I 3D printed when it was all like the really loud drivers, and so even now like it doesn't really bug me as much. But I could see. Is it more like, I'm curious? All right, let me go. I'm giving you full here. Is it more of a the noise just really bugs you, or like, is it just something that you've gotten so used to doing that you're kind of like, yeah, it's sort of your standard on certain builds?
It's for me, it's mostly that oh wait, I'm on the wrong camera. For me, the noise drives me insane.
Okay.
It's weird. Like some noises just cut right into my brain, and fan noise is definitely one of them.
Gotcha.
I can get used to it, but it drives me nuts. But the bigger problem for me is primarily that I work in this space. Like, if anybody's not familiar with my studio, my desk where I edit my videos is like 3 feet that way. So, like, my 3D printers will be running here in the studio producing parts for projects, and it just drives me nuts. Some things more than others. And fan noise is just something. I think it's because custom computers. I've been building custom computers forever, and like there's been such a trend towards quiet computers for so long that like once I got into 3D printing, I'm like, why does everybody just accept that these things are so loud? Yeah. So
yeah, I
mean,
like
Noctuas are not good for everything. They'll be fine for like what I was just saying, electronics,
sure.
cooling or whatever. But like hot ends, yeah, they're not great. On a basic Ender 3, sure, but I always personally I go on DigiKey and I shop for fans by like the size I need, and then I look for the lowest noise level with an acceptable CFM limit, and that's I ordered like 5 of them.
Gotcha. That's on DigiKey?
Yeah, that's where I mostly get fans from these days. Because like AliExpress is so hit or miss for getting the right fans, or like I've run into a bunch of times where I specifically order a very specific Sunon fan off of AliExpress, and like I'll order 2 of them and 2 different fans show up. Or I always have to be in the back of my mind be questioning, is this a legit Sunon fan, you know, or is it just a sticker slapped on
knockoff. Yeah, that's a good point. I feel I order a lot from AliExpress. A lot of times it's not super high-end stuff. Like it's a lot of hardware, like, you know, random components, like sleeving, some wires. I'm like, yeah, it's not like, but that's a good point, especially when you're getting into stuff that's, I mean, it's not super pricey, but like enough to where it could make sense for someone to like do a knockoff. I try to go with reputable sellers in the sense that, like, you know, the name matches manufacturer if at all possible, has a lot of reviews, but it's still, it's a lot more rolling the dice than getting it from someone like DigiKey or, you know, a reputable manufacturer locally. But price can be a factor, that's for sure. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely like, don't get me wrong, I will often shop on DigiKey, and if it's not something where I'm really particular about what I'm getting, I'll take the part number from DigiKey and just go over to AliExpress and, like, you know, $10 cheaper, and sure, I gotta wait 3 weeks to get it, but whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, it depends on the urgency. A lot of times things aren't very urgent for me unless, like, we're in the middle of a build series and it's like, oh crap, I need this part by next week or something like that, then I'll do it. But anything that's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have an upcoming thing, I'll try to see if I can alley it, or at least find an alternative place to save a few bucks on it.
Yeah, I know Delmar's in the chat saying he needs a poke poke Hector for quieter fans, and I agree, because there's some really good fans you haven't heard of out there for the most part. Like, everybody thinks Noctua when they think quiet fans, but like my Trident, I shopped for quiet fans doing what I did. I got them from DigiKey for the most part, but like, I forget what brand. I think I've got Sunon fans for motor cooling, and they're 4028s, so the 28mm fans, the server fans that everybody thinks are like wicked loud, but they're quiet ones, and they don't move as much air as the wicked loud ones, but they work really well. They move a fair amount of air for the noise level they produce. And then like my basement fans, I've got 3-wire 60mm fans. They're not Noctuas. They're actually quieter than Noctua's 60mm fans, and I think they move more air. So like, there are options out there for like smaller brands that you could probably white label.
I've used
better fan options.
Fans for quite a few builds, like Mercury 1.1 I did. I know I used them for the Dragon Burner, at least for one of the fans, and one other build as well. And I like them. They are definitely not quiet fans. But as far as moving air, I feel like they do a good job of that. I know on the upcoming toolhead I'm working on, the size or form factor, the recommendation I was given by Luke was, over at Luke Labs, was Delta server fans, but they only come in 12 volts, and I want to use a tool head board, and none of the tool head boards give you the option. I don't know of any that offer 12 volts, unless you do.
No, tool head boards, no.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 4028s I'm running are not
12 volts?
12 volts. I got to double check.
They're not Deltas, right? You said they're Sunon?
They're either Sunon or they might actually be Deltas. I might have misspoken there.
If you found
I'm looking at my order history.
Yeah, if you found a pair that's 24, I would rather, because my other options right now, like I do like having tool head boards, and I'd rather not use a buck converter if not needed.
Right. Yeah, because like oh, you know what? I think I have some out of the box. Whatever.
Let me see. Let me really quickly.
Nope, they're 12 volt. I was wrong.
Are they? Okay. And
Yeah,
they're Deltas?
They are Deltas, yes.
Okay.
Delta 12 volts. Yeah.
So,
but I'm running a XR bunker, the chamois tiny fan board in that, so I can get everything I need, but that doesn't help on the tool head.
Yeah, if it was, I was gonna say, if it was anywhere else, it wouldn't be a big deal. I'm using a Kraken board in this build, and so like I've got, from the controller, I should be good. It's just up there by the tool head, so we'll see. I'll figure out something here. Let me really quickly get caught up on chat. Let's see, Nadir's here. How's it going? PC says, someone once told me I don't have money for cheap tools. Makes sense, having to buy something multiple times versus a one buy for life. Oh man, I just talked to my dad about this actually, because he's looking to get a couple tools, just basic stuff around the house, and he was looking at Harbor Freight stuff, and I said that for me, like, I use a fair bit of Ryobi, which I know is like not up there in terms of like top tools that exist, but for me, like, it's been a pretty good spot for a lot of the stuff I'm doing. Like, I don't have issues with it, and I feel like if I see both sides of it, because like I'm kind of the mindset where like on some things, get the tool, and if you end up using it so much that you outgrow it or you break it, then it's upgrade time. Because the only reason I say that is because there's like 80% of the time I don't get to that point, and that tool is fine. So I see both sides of it. But then there's other things like the Omni Fixos. I love those, and they're pricey for helping hands. I mean, they're a lot more than the cheap helping hands, but for me, that's definitely like a buy once, cry once, because they work fantastic. So we were talking about this before the stream a little bit regarding tools. It's a sort of slippery slope when it comes to, let me go side by side for a sec. Oh, no. It's a slippery slope with tools and spending money on tools and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm very, I mean, granted, I come from an automotive world, so like I am very much the buy once, cry once person for the most part. But I'm also very much of the opinion of figure out your need for the tool. Yeah. Like if it's a tool you know you need once a year, like I have a concrete hammer drill, you know, big hammer drill, two-handed thing, corded, from Harbor Freight, and I use that thing once, twice a year. You know, I might use it for a week straight. Like when I was building the studio, I used it all. This is all cinder block, so I used it a bunch that week, but then I didn't use it for a year after that. And for that, like the Harbor Freight one has been perfectly fine for me.
Sure.
If I was making my living with the tool where I needed it once a week at the least, then it's not, like, it's got issues and I wouldn't use it. But
yes, recently was looking at a concrete mixer because I did a bunch of fence posts by hand and it sucked mixing concrete. And so I was looking at one of those and I'm like, a Harbor Freight one would be plenty sufficient. Like it just needs to spin and not break on me for a handful of jobs over the course of my life. So, you know, someone's saying here that the Stealth Burner 2209 does have jumpers.
It does.
The issue is that the issue is I'm not running a Stealth Burner. It's a fairly custom tool head. Well, not custom, but it's a pretty custom tool head, and it would have to basically mount on the back of a NEMA 13, no, NEMA 14, NEMA 14, the small, like it has to be like in the EB36 form factor basically. So I don't think they do. Delmar says that you rent. Can you rent? It depends on it depends. I get that too. Hey GPs.
Yeah, the 2209 the form factor just is hard. I've seen people use this thing and adapt it.
There you go.
I've seen people adapt the 2209, but like this is such a awkward form factor because it's meant for a stealth burner.
It's 2-piece too, right?
It is 2-piece too, so you could.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. Like it's just pins off the front of here. You just figure out which one is your fan ports, and you could do it. But like even slapping this on, like this is an LGX extruder, and it's still significantly bigger than the LGX extruder. So yeah, it's the only board with that option on it, but I think it's down to the size of it that it has that option. And even then, the 2209 RP 2040 version doesn't have that option. It only has 24 and 5 volt. It doesn't have 12 volt. Gotcha. No, it does have 12 volt. It's something else funky about it, but it's just I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the options don't line up with some of what we got on the market right now.
You gotta get a little hacky with it, or think of alternative methods.
I mean, realistically, you could resistor mod it, probably figure out some like resistor stack that would cut down 24 volts to 12 volts.
Yeah.
Is that long term a good idea? Probably not, but especially in like a hot chamber, but potential exists for that to work.
Someone told me there's a tiny buck converter that you can use near the tool head, but I don't know how tiny it would be. And like when I'm picturing a buck converter right now, I'm used to the one that I used for Raspberry Pis. Which
there are dedicated buck converters. Like you could, I know, well, wait, there is. Let me see if I can find it quick.
Okay. It is not Luke's new tool head, Aaron. It's a SLM tool head. I know Luke briefly showed me that tool head board that he was working on at Rocky Mountain. It's a really nice one. Yeah.
Nathan Chu in the chat, RP 2040 can't set different voltages on 2 fans. That's what I was thinking of. Yes. Because like my stealth burner on my 2.4, I run I think I run a 24 volt fan for the part cooling and a 5 volt for the hot end, I think. And the different SB 2209 can't do that. But what I'm thinking of is Noctua makes a 24 volt to 12 volt buck converter. And it's small. It's just a little thing with like a connector on each side because it's meant before they came out with their 24 volt fans, it was meant for us to use to cut 24 volts to 12 volts to use their 12 volt fans.
Yeah.
Because that's what you need. Like the bigger ones are Noctua makes it. Yeah.
Okay.
The bigger ones are dedicated, are adjustable. You don't need adjustable. You just need to go from a set voltage to a set voltage. So
yeah, someone's saying here, Hobo Banana, that there's one that's not Hobo. RS says there's some buck converters that are less than 20 millimeters square. So I wonder if that's the one, maybe one of them. So, I mean, yeah, that's a lot better. It's a lot better than, in my mind, the main buck. I mean, I've had a few. There's a rectangular one that's also adjustable. That I've gotten off of Amazon for a few projects, mostly pi powering. And there's like the LDO one on my V0, which is this monster block. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Slapped on my tool head. So.
Nathan Chu just came in with a good one there. Tiny converters used on FPV stuff. There are. I read that like Yoda, but whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
Noctua is 31 by 16 millimeters. Okay, yeah, I'll look. Us non-influencers spend so much money on auxiliary printers. Long-lasting tools are not that much of a deal in comparison. Okay.
Yeah, Noctua is 31 by 16 millimeter. Okay, that's bigger than I was expecting or thinking. But I would bet on that Noctua. I have one here somewhere. I know I do.
Yeah.
But I would
feel that.
I would pretty heavily bet you could probably dehouse it. And like, because it's also got fan connector pins on it. It's not JST pins.
Gotcha.
So I bet you could shrink it down. I bet.
I might. I'll look into it. I'm gonna talk. Luke had sent me a message a day or two ago. I gotta look at what his last thing was, but yeah, I've got to figure out something. I mean, I can go with alternative fans, but he really swears by the 12 volt deltas as being like and I know that that's what he's running on a lot of his machines, and I trust that he's done quite a bit of testing, considering like the main goal of his machines is fast, lots of material, high quality and reliable, like with the scale that he's doing. So if I can make those fans work, I would definitely Definitely like that. Has the giveaway started? The giveaway has not started yet. I also just realized it's been like an hour and a half of streaming.
Opening up boxes upon
yeah.
boxception.
Okay,
we
so
are almost done with the box though.
Yeah.
There's, like, we're at the bottom. So
I'm gonna pull out really quick the Long John kit, which I think Long John is that the probe? I would imagine.
That's the probe that comes with the kit. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not a 3D probe, I don't think.
Yep. I think that I know that when I called Steve the other day and he was showing me the other probe, I think that you still would use this even with the 3D probe because you'd use this one for your tool offsets.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you'd use the other one for basically, finding your origin. So there's not much to show in here. Otherwise, I would have. It's basically a PCB with a limit switch and then a few other components. We'll look at it heavier when we get closer to it. And then the last thing is the machine plates, which I do want to show. Are you taking yours out?
Yep. Hey, LDO's in the house.
Hey, how's it going?
Right. Oh, that's pretty.
It is really pretty. It's also got that same like sandblast. Is this still? I think this is still anodized, isn't it? It's just anodized with like a
looks like it is.
Yeah, I believe it is as well. So we've got our threaded table. Yeah, this is really pretty. This is super pretty. I know, like, with the Shapeoko, it makes me sad every time I cut into the spoil board. I get that it's a spoil board and that's what you're supposed to do on that, But like with this, I'm gonna be like extra hand on this and stop when I'm cutting, just out of fear of plunging into this beauty.
Hedgehog makes in the chat saying
Yeah.
thick, 10 millimeters thick for point of reference. So.
Yeah, this is a really nice nice
reader.
plate. Yeah, I'm gonna put that right back in the box. So, okay, I think that's everything. Yeah. So,
are these carriage plates?
Let me see. Let me give you full here. You can see what you're looking at.
Underneath the bed is these two machined plates.
Oh, we need those. I think we need those now.
We're gonna need these now. Yeah, I didn't realize it came with these. I printed the printable ones.
I didn't see there were printable ones. So, hold on. Let me get those out. That's a good catch. I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see them.
Carriage plates. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Good, because I printed them, but well,
aluminum is better.
Aluminum is better. Oh yeah. Here's the printed version. Oh.
Interesting. So that's another one of those things where you could start off with that and hopefully mill out your own if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Like build up too.
I'm gonna put away things that I know we won't need right now, which is like cable chain. I don't think we're gonna be, or cable, wiring stuff. Spindle we're definitely not needing for now. Inverter we're definitely not needing for now.
The bed plate we don't need.
Yeah. Electronics, motor kit I don't think we'll need. Electronics. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to move this box somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere out of the way, just so I've got like a little room. Let's see. Definitely a lot of large pieces to this.
Yep. Need a little room to spread out on this one.
Yeah. Okay, hopefully that's good enough for now. And what is this? This is, oh, cool. This is a bunch of, I think I'm full front screen. Side. Just a bunch of slot covers for when we actually get to cable routing, so, which is nice for hiding stuff. Okay. So let's go. Let's go to desktop really quick. There we go. Hey Liz. Hey, I didn't see you came in here. Happy Wednesday. I would love to see an interview of LDO Jason talking about LDO's story, how he got into motors, and how his work sourcing all these kits works. That would be really interesting. I know. I know Jason. It's crazy to think. I don't think I've seen anything like that. Like I know Jason's been interviewed at events a bit, but
it's always about whatever products on display.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I know. I think think in the last year, I can't tell you how far back it was, but I think Jason did post a like short video of one of the factories on Twitter, I believe, where he showed some of the motors in the machine, and it was really freaking cool to see, and it was just a short snippet. So more of that would be
Milo V1.5
freaking awesome to see.
DIY kit is getting popular now. Hope everyone enjoys
Come in
it.
with those.
Himself. Thank you
want,
very much for
there
the
still
$50
have some
season.
pre-order
Milo
left from
V1.5
LDO
is
resellers
getting
form
popular now. I
third
hope
batch.
everyone enjoys the building stream. If you want, there will be some pre-order left for the LDO resellers from the third batch. Awesome. I was gonna actually, since Jason's here, let me go really quickly. Question for you, Jason, because when we were taking these out, we noticed that the power supply is the Morn Sun, and we got these before all that stuff came out, but is there going to be any delays on batch 3 because of it, or do you guys already have that figured out? Because that's kind of something we were sort of chewing on a little bit. I'm curious about that. But thank you very much. We are both super excited, and for anyone that wasn't here at the beginning, I just want to mention again the game plan with this is that let me go quickly side so we can see both of us, is that we're going to be, after this first stream, going and doing our builds separately. Alan's, I'm sure, going to build his quicker than mine because Wednesdays are when I can stream. And with Alan moving, I know. Do you prefer Alan or MandicReally when you're being referenced, man? Because I don't know which one. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. All right, I'll
Doesn't
stick
matter
with
to
Alan
me.
because Alan's moving, I know that he really wants to get this done before. That way, there's not a bunch of spare pieces moving across the country. So he'll likely finish well before me, and then once I finish, we will have a final stream over on Mandic Labs, right, is where it's going to be at, because that's where you'll be on the Mandic Labs channel, and that's where we'll talk about sort of how the build has gone, anything we've done with it, plans, and that will be the final conclusion for it. So once we get closer to that, because it will be a ways out, I will blast it and let everybody know, so that way you can tune in, but just want to make sure that everyone is aware of how it's all going to work. Tommy says, "Mr. Alan MandicReally." that's your
official title.
Yeah, official title.
Yeah.
So,
Jason did chime in there and said
okay.
batch 3 is already in house, which I knew that is the case. So in stock inventory of Morn Sun is not under sanction. Cool. Because they're not the government's not requiring you to liquidate your stock or whatever. So.
Okay, awesome. So batch 3 will be fine. For new Voron kits, which are not ready, we will change all Morn Sun to Meanwhile or other brand. Fantastic. Okay,
cool.
Well, that's great to hear. So if you are interested in getting it on batch 3, everything is going to be flowing as normal. So that's great. Hey, Phil. Perfect. Okay, let's jump into a little bit about what the build is. So I've been trying to import the step file for this. Yay, it finally did it. It took, I think, half an hour to convert it to whatever shaper 3D needed. So there is a step file, which is nice for reference. The step file is going to be, I don't believe this is LDO specific. This is straight up off of the GitHub repository. So, but it will be nice for reference. Also, if you're like Alan and you want to mod things, that's also a great thing to have. Let me move this so we don't need a second photo. It's also a great thing to have. But I'm just having this in case there's any points where we're kind of like, hey, we can use a better visual of what's going on. So primarily instructions are going to be in the official Milo wiki, which has a lot of stuff about sourcing, printing. It has every single file needed, along with infill, minimum wall thickness, which it is quite substantial. Some of these parts, the requirements, I think on a couple of the parts, I might have gone slightly less, but for the most part, I tried sticking as much as I could because some of these are really, really thick, like 1.6 millimeters. If you're doing 0.2, it's eight top and bottom layers, which is a ton. So, but for the most part, I believe I tried sticking with this as close as I could 1-to-1. The only thing is, if you are going with the LDO kit, there is a supplementary print guide. Supplementary print guide. So you'll want to reference that, which is here, because there are some things that are going to be slightly different than what's in the official wiki website. So as far as following instructions, it doesn't look like anything really is different if you go with the LDO kit until you get to the electronics, and then there is a separate, wiring guide So once we get over to electronics, which definitely won't be today, this is a separate, which, wow, this looks really nice. Have you looked at this?
The wiring? No, I hadn't looked at it all yet.
Yeah, this is nice. I think, I don't know, I think LDO changed up their, I feel like LDO, maybe Jason can, but with the Leviathan, I know they use this platform. I feel like they might have jumped dock platforms in the not so distant past.
Yeah.
So this looks nice.
This is definitely a lot better.
Yeah, this is clean.
Other ones. Yeah.
Nice. whoever, Jason, whoever on your team is doing all the documentation, this looks really good. So let them know. That's awesome. Okay. But yeah, for the most part, we'll be following the official wiki, and we're going to be starting top down. So we've got acknowledgements, introduction, a bit about the machine and let's see what to expect. The manual and associated manual or firmware is for Milo V1.5. It will not cover external enclosures or electronics compartment found in the CASA enclosure, which we're not doing. I know that Jason is testing out, I believe it's in like beta right now, a kit for the CASA enclosure, but right now both of our machines will be open unless we makeshift something. But basically it's just saying that CASA is not part of this initial build, part of the build guide. Bill of materials, spindle selection, parts list and printing guidelines, T-nuts. This machine requires an immense amount of T-nuts. In the interest of simplifying the manual, we've chosen to omit the installation of T-nuts. Okay, so that's going to be very similar to Voron then. Voron does that. Like if there's a bolt going into something and there's nothing to catch it, you assume there's a T-nut there, which melted my mind on the first Voron build. I remember like, what the heck? Especially on the V0, man, with the preloading. Oh gosh, it took me a while to get that through my head. Like it's because there's supposed to be a preload there, man. You must make sure that the carriages are appropriately before running machine. Liberal application of EP2 grease. I don't know if the kit came with EP2 grease.
I did not see any.
Okay, I don't have EP2 grease. I typically use the syringe, which is super lube. So hopefully that'll, I mean, that's what I've used on all other builds and it's been okay. What do you normally use?
EP2.
Oh, so
I buy the big tube of EP2. It's like $5-8
and then just basically
locally
scoop it or press it into the syringe.
Scoop it and press it into a syringe. Actually, I piping bag it into a syringe.
Nice.
Make like take a Ziploc bag, cut a corner off it, and piping bag it in.
Sweet. Yeah, I need to do that. I think that, I guess worst case scenario, I believe that these, I didn't look at the linear rails, but I think they have the ports on the side where you can feed them more easily. I actually didn't look at that.
We'll find out soon.
Okay, so hopefully, worst comes to worst, I can, if an EP2 is a requirement, I could always get that afterwards. Lithium grease will work fine. Okay, sweet. Yeah, Millennium Machines is saying it should be fine. CASA enclosures and testing, hopefully in the next 2 months for production. Fantastic. I know that's something a lot of people will be excited about. Use a dummy rail when removing the carriages. Searching for tiny ball bearings when they go bouncing around your garage is not an experience. Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
Pre-build training. Oh,
Manic
neat. So there's $5 at any auto parts store. That's good to know. I didn't realize that it was such a common thing, actually. So that's good to know. There's also some links to external resources, lubricating motion system, how to use heat inserts. Bluing is highly recommended for non-stainless steel. Okay, I feel like these are probably stainless in the LDO kit. I think that's what they typically use, but I don't know for sure. So there's some awesome, if you're waiting for your kit or you're saving up for a kit or whatever, if you're interested, these are some really nice links to kind of prep you mentally for the things you might be running into. I want to check out that first link, how to lubricate your motion system. Okay, hardware reference, you've got, so basically labeling of the different screws and bolts, which if you're used to building in general, hopefully you're somewhat familiar with these things. I think it's a lot of the crossover will be between some of the other builds, especially if you've done something like a Boron. And then Y-axis assembly looks like it's the first section, so that's what we'll be starting with. Let's see, Y plate. So it looks like we're starting with our Y plate here.
The thinner but wider, or bigger one.
Okay, the thinner one. That's what I was just gonna ask. Okay, cool. Thank you for thank you for that. XY gantry plate is not an exact mirrored plate and therefore needs to be oriented in the right direction. So we've got, looks like there's a single hole. Does this plate look slightly different than the one pictured?
No.
Okay. Single hole. Okay, yeah, I see it. So it looks
Oh,
like
it might be a little bigger than it looks like in the picture.
yeah. So it looks like the main thing I'm seeing here is in the center. There's like one recessed hole here, which is what B is in the image, I think, right?
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
And then there's two here.
It's the B hole, but we want actually the flip side of that's what we should be looking at.
Thank you.
With the yeah. I had it the wrong way at first. Too,
okay.
So.
that clarified a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says it's not exactly mirrored and therefore needs to be oriented in the right direction. Great. To make sure the plate is installed the right way around, rotate the plate until counterbores are facing upward. Okay.
The counterbores for the A for the linear rail holes. That's what that means.
Okay. Okay. Yep. I see it. With the counterbores the right way, locate.
Mandic explains the B hole again.
When you said it out loud, like it made me laugh. I'm glad someone else picked it up, and I was like,
didn't even pick up on it.
yeah, help me point out where the B hole is. Perfect. That's what friends are for.
Where's Jean? That's her job.
After this has been done, face C will now be oriented towards you. Okay. Cool. When installed, this face will be towards Y minimum. Okay. Or towards the operator. Be safe, block it. These machines will vibrate an immense amount when in use, and fasteners are bound to back out. Don't be afraid to add a little bit of medium strength. Are you gonna thread lock everything or no?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do the same then. And this, normally I don't. I'm only like a set screw person typically on builds like for printers, unless there's other instructions, but I will use this, which is not super strong. It's Loctite 222. I think it's just like medium hold.
Yeah, that's what they call for medium.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Rail carriages should always have the dummy rails, which we did see. So I got to figure out really quickly here. I'm going to stack some stuff out of here. So hardware kit we're going to need. Did you just take out your bag of bolts and stuff?
Not yet.
Okay. Bag of bolts, and then I think I hid. No, where are my dummy rails? Here we go. So if we're doing Y, and we think that Y is the
big rails.
Oh, Y is the big rails. So I was wrong earlier when I was.
Or
I thought.
Is it?
I thought I said they were X earlier, but.
I mean, realistically.
Well, the blocks will be the same, right? It's the same, but let me see when we get down further. This looks long. Wait. MGN rail, 350 millimeters. So it is not.
Yeah.
Hi. Ooh. One sec. I got a care package. Thank you. This looks incredible. Cool.
Oh yeah, it's the medium length ones. The long ones are 500.
Jack. What do you? Quick Jack? All right, Jack's here. You want to do a quick baby break? He's gone to bed really quick.
Nap time.
Yeah. We'll do a quick. Jack's gonna say hello really quick before he goes down. Let's see. Guess. Nope. That's you. Close front. All right. Here we go. All right. I'll try my best to get him.
Yeah. Okay.
He looks super cute. He's got his. Hold on, buddy. I can do it under here.
The obstacle, the Indiana Jones course with the
dude with a baby. Here we go. He's got his little scarf on. What's up, buddy? We're building a mill today. At least we're trying to. We're mostly just talking and unboxing things. Look at
the cat's sleeping. I don't want.
It's a big rail, huh? Whoa. He's just waking up or he's going down? Oh, okay. Oh, he's just waking up. I was gonna say, he seems like he's in a really chill mood. What's up, little man? Can you say hi? Can you say hi? No. baby bot. Yeah, look at that's you. That's you, bud. That's you. Huh? He likes all the lights. Huh? It's a mess up here. Okay. After this, Alan, I promise we're gonna put our head down and actually build. I'm like, even for me, I'm like, man, we haven't inserted a single screw. Air is on 74, but if you want to drop it a hair, it's definitely warm up here. Thank you. All right, I've got to get to building, man. I've been talking for 2 hours and I haven't done much of anything, man. Yeah, it's a big studio light. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get to building. Oh, you want me to go over there? Okay. Oh. All right. Bye, everybody. Jack says bye.
Bye, Jack.
The dogs are up here too. They're like, what about us? Okay. Thank you. Wish us luck. Okay. CNC statue of Mod Baby. That would be cool. Thanks, Jason. He's getting close to walking. We're getting there. I also got, I feel like, you don't do cheese though either, do you, Alan?
Nope.
Okay. Well, other than the cheese, you'd appreciate it. It's a caprese.
Ah.
So it is almost there. It's almost, not quite, almost there. Okay. So, did we decide rails 350? So not the biggest rails.
It's the mid-length ones.
Yeah. Okay. So we were right.
Ones.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. All right. Mid-length rails. I usually like to have a container underneath in case a ball goes rogue.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna play dangerously.
Steve, I think was the one that got me that. I also put, because I'm pretty clumsy, I also put down like a napkin at the bottom of it, just so that way it's less of a bouncy surface.
That's a good call. I'll put down paper towels. Paper towels.
Yeah. Knock on wood, I've been pretty lucky, but the first V0 build, I missed a step, and I really didn't want to take the frame apart. This was, 3+ years ago now, I think. And I tried cheating, and the Z rails, dude, man, more than 1 or 2 balls bounced around my flooring, so I had to wait for my new bearing blocks to come in, and it's been years. I've gotten
the Cookie Cat Zero build that I brought to Rocky Mountain. It's the first time I ever had it happen.
Oh,
and it was because of the frame swap. If anybody's not familiar with that build, I started with an LDO kit with a black frame, and I went to a white frame, and I had to swap everything over. And in the midst of that, like, one of the rail carriages slid off, and I couldn't find them all. So I actually ended up, luckily, I had like some old MGN rails that came in MGN 7 rails that came in another kit that I didn't use, and so I was able to rob like a couple ball bearings out of one of those and get it together. So it's got like a quality rail with like 2 or 3 crappy ball bearings in it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what your thoughts are, because I know, like, and I don't know for certain, but like I've heard that sometimes the balls, like, those aren't even, like, with tolerances, like they're kind of paired, like. Yeah. I don't know if it really. Do you think that is the case? Like, it could actually make a difference?
It could make a difference. It can make a difference. That one, a couple of ball bearings, probably not. But I wouldn't take a carriage off a different rail and put it onto a different rail.
Okay.
And it's probably much bigger of a factor once they're worn in.
Sure.
But you know,
building with Steve has got me doing a bunch of things now. Like I mark with Sharpie on the edge of a rail, and I mark the side of the bearing block with a dot to match it, so that way I don't put it, just in case there's any difference. I never did before, but I'm telling you, man, like, once we did the VZ build, I'm like, I have all these things that I do now that I never, and I don't know, like, I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but I'm like, it doesn't take that much extra effort to do it now that I know of it, so I just kind of, pick it up.
If nothing else, it's good to have best practices and stick to them.
Yeah. Honey Badger rails are matched. Okay, so I think first step is take off the blocks, slide them onto the dummy carriages, and then just put some grease through the port before we install them?
Yeah.
Okay. You already took yours off?
I did.
Okay. You know what? How am I not gonna mix and match them? You just don't care because they're the same? Like,
I didn't care, but
okay.
that is a good practice, but I didn't care.
Okay. It gets two tallies on the so 1 tally for the single and then 2 for this one. So all right, pulling these off. Pulling these off. Actually, I need to remove you.
Oh, I'm going about this wrong.
You know what I should have done? I goofed. You usually slide. Did you already slide them directly onto the dummy rails?
I did.
I didn't. Okay, I did not because I'm silly, but hopefully it won't be that hard.
Yeah, I just went right from rail to rail. I butted them up against each other.
Yeah,
but...
that's the smart thing to do. That's actually that's what I should have done given the fact that it came with these. But let me really quickly.
Bearded bucket. Steve's a good influence when building, but I feel that judgment on my completed builds when I know they're things I didn't pay close attention to. Yeah. Try building a machine with Steve. When I was at Earth, he was like asking me like, "Oh, what do you want to do for this or that?" I would just like say something, and he kind of give me that like dad look that he gets, and just like, "Okay,
yeah,
like, all right."
I know.
Like, I feel like I'm being judged right now.
I know that he doesn't like really care. Like it's your choice, but I'm like, man, like I don't want to let you down. Like I was the same way. Like there was quite a few things on our build. I'm like, all right, Steve, like I'm gonna just do it. So, tripods. There he is. Steve's here. I pick right now. To open the stream. Yeah, we're just saying like you got me over here marking my carriages and stuff now and checking which direction the words are on my belt teeth or on my belt and see all this stuff. John, this is going towards the pizza fun no pineapple. I can't promise the no pineapple, but I appreciate it. It will go towards pizza. I actually had pizza with pineapple for dinner last night, so I probably won't have that today.
Delmar, would you like to try that again, face? Yeah.
Would you? Do you do pineapple on pizza, Alan?
No.
All right.
I can't stand savory and sweet mixed. It's just not doesn't work for me. Like sweet and sour, Chinese food doesn't work for me.
Gotcha. So I don't actually know. I've never actually gone through the port, and it looks like both sides of these have screws in them. So, do you know whether the answer is remove both and go through both, or just remove one and it'll feed its way all the way through?
It could feed its way all the way through, but it's going to fill the cavity doing so.
Okay, so you're going to go removing both?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, usually I think what I've seen typically is just one side has a, but I could be wrong. Basically what I'm talking about is in the center of this, there's a little screw, and that's where you can grease the ball bearings without having to do it directly to the balls like I've done on quite a few builds. But there's 2 of them, so I don't know whether. Yeah, I don't know. So let me take off one. If Millennium Machines is here or LDO, what is the recommendation regarding this? I'm gonna start with just taking one off while I wait and see if there's any feedback on that. Only heathens put pineapple on pizza. Hey man.
Called out on your own stream.
Yeah. It's probably my most confrontational take in my time online, which I guess is not, I guess that's not a bad thing. Just do the one side. It's not airtight. Okay. That's Nomad saying that.
I think I'm going to...
Okay, this one's slipping, so I should probably not be using... What were you saying?
Oh, I'm using my this plunger, this syringe I have. Like the plunger came out of it and it's funky.
Oh.
I also don't think I have enough grease for this.
Yeah, these are pretty big bearing blocks. I might have enough for this. I guess that makes me heathen. Pro pineapple. Yeah, Steve gets it. Steve gets it, man. Okay, so we'll just insert syringe. This is a little bit thicker grease than I'd like, so I'm just gonna press until I'm probably gonna place it on the. I need to get EP2 because this stuff that I use is thicker, and it's probably also the syringe tip I'm using. I need a wider one, but it sucks, man. It requires way too much elbow grease to.
Yeah, that's honestly well, even with EP2, that's part of the problem with this one is it takes way too much pressure. I have a good grease gun I've been meaning to load up with, a little tiny grease gun I've been meaning to load up with EP2, and I just never remembered to.
Yeah,
until the moment I need it, and then I'm screwed.
Yeah, I basically need both hands almost to push this, but then I've got nothing to hold on to my block, and I'm scared it's gonna go flying if I do.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, 1, 2. Those look good.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I should probably do this again. Warm it up. That's a great idea. I don't have. I guess I could throw it on a printer next time we're gonna use it. The good thing is with these being sideways accessible, and if you only need to go from one side, I should be able to do this again if need be. Once they're on, I would think. Oh man, my hand, dude. Whew. Grease in the microwave for 5 seconds. Don't blame me for how it burns down. It's not a bad idea, warming it. Is that what you're doing? Warm water?
Nope.
Okay. I thought you came back with a thing of warm water, and I'm like, genius.
I came back with a grease gun.
Oh, nice. I'm going to switch hands. My right hand is sore.
Either I'm going to fight this the whole time, or I'm going to do it, so.
All right, well, that popped out. Yeah, it seems like I didn't, so I had to switch up hands. Are you doing a Polymaker draw today? Yes, I am. In 7 minutes, I will open the giveaway at 1 p.m. my time.
My piping bag of EP2.
You got full screen. We're gonna watch the magic happen. while I eat a tomato. So you're refilling up the syringe, or the
No,
the
I'm
grease
doing
gun?
a bigger grease gun. It's not big. It's a small grease gun, but it's. Actually, I think this is an LDO.
This is
Yeah.
going to the pizza
The Ziploc
pineapple.
bag or whatever I'm
Also,
using is an
download
LDO bag.
Reanimator is my next 3D printer project. Extra
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up. Where EP2? I mean, we're talking like just an auto store, like AutoZone type place, or?
I got it at Granger. Was the easiest place for me to get it locally, but something like AutoZone or something should have it. I got it at Granger just because I knew they had it. I was able to like order it online, pick it up, and be done. Because it was I think I had to stream that day, and it was like, oh crap, I'm out of grease. I need it now. Yeah.
This is not an AliExpress order.
Yeah.
This is one of those times where I need it.
For a while, I was ordering from Fabrico. I would just order the pre-filled syringes, which is great, but it just saved me from doing this mess.
Yep.
Which I am not mad about saving from, but.
No time like now for the grease gun, says Damar. If you fight it, it will be a struggle you share with ModBot. Wait, fight what?
Oh, if I was to keep doing the way you were doing it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it worked, I think. I really... I did it until I saw grease coming out around the tip, like, of the syringe, so I think I got it in there, but I've never used one of those portholes.
Well, similar to any other method, you should probably be looking for it coming out of the carriage.
Onto the rail or onto the
rail. Yeah, that's the only way you can tell that it's like through the passageway. So, little grease gunny here. Let me wipe that thing down so it's not awful.
Go back at it again. Man of the Croc, thank you for the $10. You said this is going to the Pizza Fund extra pineapple. Also, Alan and Reanimator is my next 3D printer project. Cool.
Awesome.
Extra word to use up characters here. Cow, dog, cat, Fred, Carmen, Sandalo, Milo V1.5. Perfect. Tractor Supply. I don't think I've ever been to a Tractor Supply, Delmar.
Tractor Supply is good for like the oddball stuff at a fair price.
Okay. Yeah,
All
with
right.
this needle, dude, I don't know if I can get it to go all the way through to where it pops out on the. Like, I think I need something that would basically fill the hole, so that way, you know, like it's gonna not favor coming right back out the hole. Like this is what I'm using. It's super skinny. Like,
Whoop! Just shot grease across my table. Oh God, yes, I should have done this ages ago.
Is it way better?
It is so much better. Oh.
Yeah, I'll probably end up adding some more grease then. As the good thing is with this, it should be possible to add it later, I would think, right?
Well, with the ports, it should be, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Because I don't know that I can actually get more in with this method. I could do it the other method, which is just apply it directly to the balls like I've done previously, but...
I'm grabbing a link here. I'm going to drop it in our chat for you.
Okay.
It's for the grease gun I'm using.
Sick.
One. I'm just walking into double entendres. One pump of that thing, and it's so much better already. So, yeah. But yeah, this is great.
I'll end up ordering that with EP2. Yeah, for $12 to never have to struggle like I just did, I will.
It's also a lot easier to fill than the syringes, even with.
Oops, I lost you on Skype. Or no, wait.
I'm gonna say I'm still there. I see.
Host front. That's me.
Did I somehow? I didn't click anything that I know of.
I hear your audio.
Yeah, my video settings are all the same.
I see your video. You're back. It was a me thing.
Okay.
It was a me thing. Sorry about that. It's because I clicked on the link. I think it took me away from your video window, and so it just default. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yes.
Hey Jose.
This is.
No, Alan's here. He's here. We have not lost him. He's not lost in the grease. There you go.
Hi everybody. But yeah, this little grease gun. That's what I'm using. This is actually intended for greasing air tools, because some air tools have like a little tiny grease nipple on them that you have to depress with this like tapered tip that's on this thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm just sticking that tapered tip into that port, and it's like one or two very easy to push pumps.
And it's filled.
And it's filled.
Yeah, I need to do something like that. I
Chat's
might go
asking
down
for the link.
Oh, sure. You want to post an affiliate link if you got one?
I mean, sure, but yeah. I just didn't want to presume.
Yeah. Let me give you. I'm trying to think how I can do this without showing your Skype.
If you add me as a mod on Mandic Labs.
Yeah, type in chat so I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go here, right click, or not right click, but add as moderator, cool. Managing moderator, standard moderator. You can review and remove chat and hide capabilities of standard. I don't know, you're managing moderator, whatever that means.
Okay.
Okay, see if you can do it now. It might take, I think it sometimes takes a sec. Oh, there you go.
Nope, that worked.
Cool, there it is.
Yay! But
Cool.
yeah, there's a link to it.
Yeah, I'll end up ordering that. I'm also, I think after the stream, gonna run down to the garage and see. I know I have somewhere when I bought these syringes off Amazon, it came with a bag of different tips, and I just assumed this is what I needed. It's been awful. I need one with a like you said, basically a taper, like a taper to it, so that way it fills up. Well, this is like, because it's just so skinny and it only fills up 50% of the hole, like the grease just wants to shoot back out around it. So I don't think, I'm tempted to just to grease these directly like I've done with previous Boron builds.
I probably would.
Yeah, because I think that's probably the call. So I will really quickly go back to side, and I'm just going to...
All right, I'm gonna start greasing this one fresh, no grease in it. 1, 2, and it's already pumping grease out of the slide thing.
Damn, okay, yeah. I'm just going to maybe raise the camera up a little bit here. Yeah, that definitely seems superior. Well, could you use that? I guess the thing is, though, would you be able to use that if you're going about it the way I am right now, directly on these, or would it be too...
it'll just shoot out grease just the same. You can, like, it's the pressure of how hard you push, so...
Sure.
just lightly push like you are right now, and it would work for that. Yeah.
Let me get
I'm probably gonna come back and do that too.
on the balls,
just
like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can do it right now.
I'm gonna grease the way we have been greasing first,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go back and do that.
Okay, cool. Might as well. I mean, it's like, I mean, not that motion doesn't matter on 3D printers, it absolutely does, but with this, I just feel like I really want to make sure that I've done it right. So all I'm doing for anyone that's watching that hasn't seen, I'm just applying grease directly to the ball bearings, and then I'm using really gently these needle tweezers to move 2 balls at a time into the channel, just pushing them through, and then exposing the ones that haven't had grease applied to them, and then I will apply grease to them, and then it'll be done this one, and I'll move on to the next. Yeah, I just don't trust. I think that the side port is awesome, but given what I have for applying, I feel like I'm way under greasing them, which is not ideal, so.
Yep. And I agree. These are going to be under a fairly hefty load when they are
being used.
When they're in use, so.
Okay. I will call this one good. I'm just going to slide it back into here. I will say using these it's so much nicer. Some of the gates that hold the ball bearings in on smaller rails, man, they're so fickle. They're so fickle. So like having these larger ones, it's a lot easier. There was a joke on, it was when Steve and me were doing the VZ build, I was using my thumbs to try to keep the balls in as I was sliding it onto the rails, and I kept having 1 or 2 pop out, and then the joke was that I had small thumbs, which is not true. But I just couldn't, the gates kept wanting to move as I was getting them on the rail, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm already done doing all of them that method.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now I'll just put a little in here.
It's funny, I said that, and now all of a sudden this gate is like wanting to pop the balls out. I'll be careful. I'll do 1 at a time instead of 2, less pressure. I think for most people, as long as they have the correct like EP2 and some setup like you have, they're probably fine with not doing this like directly.
Yeah.
I would think, but I don't think it'll hurt anything to do this. Okay, let me actually really quickly here. Let me put the second one on. I'm gonna open up the giveaway link in a sec for the Polymaker filament.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 2 rails done, or 2 blocks. All right, so for anyone that hasn't been here for a giveaway, I'm gonna paste a forum. It'll be pinned in chat, or a forum. It'll be pinned in chat, and then in 30 minutes, what just happened here? In 30 minutes, we will do a quick drawing, and that will be for a spool of Polymaker filament, and it's international, so anyone can win. If you're in the US or Canada, it ends up being a gift card, so you can pick out what you want, or use it towards a different spool, like one of the fancy like carbon spools or something like that. And then anywhere else, there's a big list of filaments you get to choose from, and it's a lot of their PLAs, ABSs, ASAs, and PETGs. So, pin message. Okay, so it should be good. Phil, thank you for 10 months. Burning my members chat to suggest taking the needle off to make it easier. Now random words. Pineapple on pizza. People are just wrong. That's probably not a bad idea. Just pulling. I don't know if I can. Maybe
the hole's a little small, but that was what I was doing at first.
Gotcha. Okay. I think for this, because I'm going now directly to the balls, I'll just keep it on. But that's a good idea that I'll probably experiment with after this. I don't ever really want to use this thing again.
I mean, my primary method before now, what I usually do is I don't take them off the rail. I do the through the port, one of the bolt holes on the rail method.
So I was doing that for quite a few times, but I don't think I was getting it where grease was shooting out, and I feel like feel like it was when I streamed with Steve where he was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then I was like, all right. But I've seen that done quite a few times, and I've done that on quite a few builds where it has worked fine. So that's a safer method as
it
well.
also takes more grease because you're both filling up the hole that you're feeding through. So messy, as Steve says, yeah. And also, like, some carriages have like a blank cavity up inside of there, where
it's even
you gotta
more...
fill that to get it into there. So like, it does take more.
Okay. Did you find your external PSU for the positron? I haven't ordered it yet. This last week's been nuts. A lot of people probably saw that my video went out on Sunday, which has never happened, and it's probably gonna happen again this week because I'm just behind. So thank you to everyone that did post external power supply options in chat. I need to chat with Nomad, and Jason had pinged me from LDO as well. I haven't had a chance. So I have options. I just don't know which one I'm going with yet. And no, I haven't. GPs, I haven't ordered it. I was really focusing on getting the parts printed out for this that I was going to need for this build, and then just getting the weekly video out. It took, like everything, took longer than I thought it was going to. Okay, I've got 3 rails done. I need more napkins, I think, the grease. All right. Typically, how long are you streaming for your streams? Like, is there a point where you're usually like, okay, it's been 3 hours, I'm tired, or like, I don't, what's been your average, you think?
My goal is always 3 hours.
Okay.
That's my goal, whether or not I land on it. Like, I forget what I was doing. Last time I was working on the Trident, I kind of just hit a point where like there was no point and no way I was going to make further progress. So,
so you
at
call
like
it
the 2.5 hour mark, so I called it early. But that's usually the thing. But I'm usually a lot more talkative on my streams because I'm like, you and I get to talk here, whereas when I'm just talking to chat, it's just constantly, as you said, squirrel of me. So, so I'm usually talking a lot more. So I'm plenty good right now. I don't know how long we've been going. I don't have that up with OBS.
Yeah, it's been a little over 2 hours, so I'm good too. But out of also respect towards you, like when we get the 3 hour mark, I'm at least gonna check in with you and see what's going on. Cool. Because this is gonna be a fairly long build series, I would imagine, and I know. Yeah, we'll just play it by ear. But I also, for live streams, I mean, things seem to always go wrong. Like, it's just the way it's just the way it is. And so I really try a lot of times to just like keep a positive head and like, all right, we'll figure out a solution. But there's definitely been some times I'm like, all right, well, this is it. So thanks for watching. Bye, everyone. But usually that's not. Usually if we hit a roadblock early on in the stream, I'll try to find an alternative thing that we can do that's like a little less rage-inducing.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I dropped 2 balls.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
at least you got your bucket.
Yeah. Yep. I'll get them back in really quick here. It's always the last one. I always screw something up on the last. I feel like because your mind's like moving on to the next task, I sort of like check out tiny bit. Okay, one left. Nope. Okay. Yeah, this gate doesn't seem quite as tight. Okay, so let me add. Okay. What did I miss? Jose, good evening. Hey, Adrian. So messy. Oh, that was, I think, in response to the going through the porthole, right? Yeah.
My method, yep.
All right, can we do this without having anything pop out? I want to say, yay, we did it. We are back on safe on shore. Okay, so I'm going to put my, those porthole screws back in. How you doing over there?
I'm good. I'm just wrapped up the last one. So
perfect. Okay, so I'll get these in, and then we can probably move on to mounting them. The thing the grease does seem to help keep these little blocks in place a bit, but one of my concerns was when we're moving things around.
We could really transfer them back to the rails.
We could, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'll probably end up doing
Jose,
then.
that is a grease gun. Jose, you missed it. I guess you missed it. Drop it in chat again. That's the grease gun I'm using.
Based off of Alan's feedback, it's 10 times better than, at least 10 times better.
Definitely 10 times better than the syringe, that's for sure. So, this is the Y-axis we're starting with. Somebody's asking.
Of course this screw doesn't want to go back into the porthole. Why?
Oh boy.
Let's try a different, Okay, that one went in without issue. Also, if you need I don't know as far as snacks, if you snack on stream or if you need to like go grab something. Cause I get hungry. I mean, Aaron brought me a Caprese, but I definitely like, I feel like streaming burns a lot of energy. And so there's usually a point where I'm like, all right, I'm grouchy, so I need to at least snack. Like Cliff Bars used to be my thing on stream. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna really quickly have a energy bar or whatever.
Yeah.
Bar.
I try not to, because mouth noises drive me insane. So I try to avoid it.
Got you. So sorry about that.
I didn't hear you, so it's
okay,
fine.
good. I was chewing. I also am not a big fan of it. I had a buddy that I used to game with that really hated it, so I made it a point to bump my gain up and get real close. But generally, I also am not crazy about it, so I'll try to like not go with super chewy things, and then also chew lightly,
Yeah, you just reminded me though. I do have a fig bar on the table.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got these back on. Poor Boron's in the background being used as table. I know. Nothing personal. Okay, so you slid your blocks back on?
I did not yet, but I'm going to.
Okay. My marks don't seem to have stuck on my carriages.
Reese is a good Sharpie remover, so.
Yeah, so I think that this is how it was. This is a... Okay, this is a single mark. Why are we not going on? Okay, this one's back on. This is another single block. I like how loose the how easy it is to slide these on and off, but it makes me nervous.
Yep.
Okay, we got one rail down. Beautiful. I'm not gonna read that out loud, Kenneth, but it made me laugh. Let's see. Okay. Do 2 marks. Pretty excited for your new adventure. I know you've moved a few times, but like for me, like I've lived in California my whole life, so to go to Idaho was like this, like whole new world type thing. And since you've lived a few places, but I still think like it's gonna be such a nice, like, well, hopefully nice, but like such a change, in terms of landscape, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be change. I mean, I'm moving from the 6th largest city in the country to not.
Yeah.
And we're not even gonna be in the city. We're gonna be in the suburbs. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I have no idea what to expect. Especially like Ruby, my wife, she's only ever lived in cities. So like, I don't know. She always romanticizes, like, since we've been together, she's like, oh, we should move outside of the city into like a quieter, smaller area. And I'm like, I've always wanted us to stay in the city just because I'm like, I grew up out there. I don't need to do that. I've already experienced it. And, had to drive 20 minutes to get to the grocery store. And so I don't know what to expect. How rural? It's not going to be rural by any means.
Yeah.
It's suburbs. We'll see. I'm mostly looking forward to quiet. Like Philadelphia, there's basically not a time at any point where it's quiet. And like I don't really have a problem with that, but sometimes it gets on your nerves.
With the quiet or with not having quiet, you're saying?
Not having quiet.
Gotcha. I love the quiet, man. I mean, I didn't live in the big city in California, but like it's California. There's people freaking everywhere, right? And so here, we're in the suburbs, but we're still in a place where we're fairly centrally located. If you need something, and if you want like nightlife, like if you're looking for like fancy, like there's a whiskey bar that we like that's in Boise. You have to drive to the big city for that, but like most everything else, it is local enough, and we're not going to the whiskey bar every week. It's like
that's one of the silly things about. Oh Jesus Christ, my thread locker just fell off twice.
Your thread locker?
That's one of the
bottle
Loctite
gotcha,
belt.
gotcha,
Yeah, fell. That's one of the things that like Ruby always comes back with. She's like, I'm always like, oh, I want to stay in the city. I like having everything here at our hands. And she's always like, yeah, but we don't leave the house. Like, okay, yeah. And like neither of us drinks or so like we go to shows once in a while, but like we're not going out to bars.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it doesn't really make sense that I want to stay in the city, but here we are. Deanna asked, we're moving to Portland area. I guess I can say where. West Lynn is the neighborhood we're going to be in. West Lynn. So, West Lynn, Oregon.
Just going to say, because I haven't said it, if you have not smacked the like button, do so. We're at 84 likes, and there's 145 people here, so I know we can hit. Let's get to 100. Let's get to 100 as a starting point. And then, also, if you haven't, the giveaway link is live. If you didn't hear that, it's in chat. Well, another 12-ish minutes, and then we'll do the drawing for that. So, if you haven't, fill that out, and we're doing a Polymaker drawing for anywhere in the world. So, okay, now that these are back on, I think we can move on to actually bolting them on. So let's see if I go here and I go here. Okay, so now we need, I'm just gonna try to take out only the hardware that it calls for. So M310s, M3.5s, socket heads. These do not look like M3s. Let's see, M310s, yes. Why don't I see M3.5? Oh, these are probably M3.5s. Nope, these are M3.8s. There we go. M3.5s, cool. We need 8 MGN. Wait, 8 MGN rail carriages? Huh.
Oh, we only greased. Are we supposed to have done?
It looks like we're doing X. I'm gonna.
Oh, it's because we were supposed to do both. Shit.
Well, it's a grease stream, so. All right. Well, I'm gonna put these here. I'm gonna slide all of these over here. I'm just gonna go straight to popping them off. I'm not doing the grease port traps, but yeah, we should probably do the Ys as well. Sorry, Alan. I didn't know.
I didn't either.
So when we were,
I usually try and do.
When
I know I'm going to be doing builds. Personally, I try to do greasing before.
Sure.
But I forgot that was going to be a thing. So.
Yeah, I do. Oh man, none of the. Be careful. Don't be so aggressive taking your blocks out as I just was, because all of the rubber caps fell off when I took them out.
Oh, lovely.
Actually,
you almost lost one there.
Yeah, they don't fit. They don't actually fit snugly in these, which is odd.
Mine does.
Grab a different one. Huh? Weird. I don't know. Okay, I just gotta be careful. It should be fine. I think. Yeah, it's hit or miss for me whether I'll do them on stream or not. Lately, I kind of have been, but both the combination of greasing rails and heat inserts are things that I've definitely done off stream before, just for the sake of keeping the ball rolling.
Yep.
Hey, Nuno. Mandic, Steve says he has a friend up there. One day he's gonna make the drive.
Cool. We should have a spare bedroom. We haven't planned to set it up as a spare bedroom yet, but I'm sure we'll get there.
Why are we getting caught? There we go. Okay, I'm gonna mark my rail again, even if it's gonna come off, just for consistency's sake. One there.
Maybe I'll actually do that this time.
Do it. You normally have music on when you're streaming?
I do.
What's normally, is there a specific playlist?
I've just got a playlist of backing track, kind of like video gamey,
Nice.
like rock songs that plays.
That's you probably can't hear it because it's only playing through the stream.
I can just barely pick it up in my ear.
Okay. Yeah, I usually start off with really mellow, just to like get to ease into it, and then we switch over to boss mode where it's like the 8-bit, high-speed playlist. Okay, that came off smoothly.
I need to now that the second channel is actually doing something. I need to get a like subscription to Epidemic Sound for it or something.
Yeah, I've been paying for it for 3 years and I don't use them in any of my videos, and this isn't them either. I don't know what I'm doing. When I was experimenting with shorts a bit, I was I can't think of the style. It was like some kind of electric, like real funky, and I was using that on Epidemic Sound because I was like, sweet, I like having a little bit louder. But on my main videos, the background sound is so quiet that I just don't put much thought into it. It's because I cut basically to where I end talking, so it's like a million miles an hour. There's not really much dead space. But if I was doing segments of like montage, build, whatever, then I would definitely be using it more. It's just in the style of video I've been doing, it really hasn't made a whole lot of sense to do a lot of sound design with the current style I'm doing.
Yep.
But
Yep. Steve headed out. Thanks for being here, Steve.
Thanks for hanging out, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know. I put music in all of my videos from beginning to end.
Yep, I do too.
But it's always most of the songs are so quiet nobody even notices they're there.
Yep.
It's funny. I watched like one of my older videos not too long ago, just like something I needed to revisit or something, and the music was so much louder, and I was like, oh, I see why people might have complained back then.
Yeah. I get it on streams sometimes for people watching the VODs.
Yeah.
They'll say, man, you're like, I just recently had someone saying like, oh, it was almost usable or something like that. I was like, I listened to it back and I'm like, being a little dramatic, I think.
Yeah, probably. No. A dramatic YouTube comment?
Yeah.
Color me shocked.
New year, first time. It's the news, the GIF or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the meme. Okay, so we'll do the drawing. Everyone that's filling out, we'll do the drawing as soon as we're done with greasing these carriages.
So about 2 hours from now.
I hope not, man. Yeah, for some reason I had even looked at the instructions very briefly and thought that I had a pretty good idea of what was coming, but clearly...
I knew exactly what we were going to be doing. I had like glanced at them and it just didn't click in my head.
Yep. It was until I was like, cool, we get to assemble. I'm like, wait a minute, this thing calls for 8 carriages and I've only touched 4. Okay, so that one's good.
Oh. Almost lost one.
Oh no.
Get back in there. Aha.
The grease really helps,
yeah.
kind of, with sticking, at least so they don't go flying all over the place if they do come out. Hey,
yeah,
Ajax
well,
is here. How's it going?
Welcome.
Ooh, Luke says it's here. My Milo kit just arrived. That's exciting. What color scheme are you going with, or what filaments?
I think somebody asked earlier what your color scheme is. I forgot to chime in because they hadn't seen it.
Wait, I showed it off.
Yeah, but not
they
every
hadn't seen it.
Oh,
gotcha. Gotcha. You're saying they didn't see it. So I am doing. I'll just show it really quick. I've got it right here. So it's Polymaker Gold ABS, which different lighting. It definitely looks different. This looks a little bit more orangey here, but it can look lighter or darker. It's a little bit darker here. And then the main color, so non-accent, is Galaxy ABS, also from Polymaker. So, and then you said you were doing, it's lime green is its official name, but we're calling it acid green, right?
I'm going with toxic green, but
toxic
yeah.
green, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then what's your primary?
Just plain black. Plain black. Not the... Though at least one part I printed like half jet black by accident and half.
Oh, that's funny.
How many spools does a Milo need? I don't think I've printed everything yet, and I would say I'm at like one spool of each, one accent and one. Do you think that's about right? Because I use like remnant spools. I went through like 3/4 spools or something. So
I nearly finished a entire spool of black, but I also had some screw ups, which were my fault. If I had to guess, I would say approximately having 2 kilograms of your primary and 1 of your accent is probably a safe place to be in. I think you'd be cutting it real close with just 1 of the primary if we're considering everything, and that leaves you like no margin for error. I think that's approximately right. Yeah. But that sounds fair. Yeah, there might be a breakdown somewhere. Well, I don't know. You also have to factor in about 3 kilograms. Millennium saying, you do have to factor in that these parts are even heavier wall and infill, well, not infill, but wall than Voron. Than Voron. Or really any build I've done. Any build, yeah. I mean, I honestly over spec a lot of things, so it's not uncommon for me to have like 6 walls on Voron parts. And this I've been doing it too. I've been like 9 walls on a lot of these parts. I'm over here doing the opposite on a couple. I mean, for the most part, I'm not, but I think there was like one. I don't know if it was a motor mount early on or something like that, where I was like, I was 1 wall short or 2 walls short or something like that. But for the most part, I'm trying to keep it. I mean, it's not fair to judge a project if you don't follow what the right like that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Yep. So that's fair. Trying, but I mean, I don't think over is you're probably. I would say you're on the safer side than what I was doing. Under doing it would be totally unfair. Yeah. Yep. Like I ran into that before when I reviewed the Physect Voron Zero kit, and some of the parts they printed that fell apart while I was putting it together were like only 2 perimeters. I remember you showing a photo of that, and you're like, what the hell? Yeah. And it's like, cool. Well, that's bad on them, so. Rob says, so this is the first live stream I watched of either of you. It's kind of nice to hang out with you doing something tedious rail greasing while I do something tedious soldering. Well, welcome. Thank you for hanging out in our this is Alan and Dan's grease shop. Yeah. Welcome to it. Yeah, it's funny how some parts of the build like this, I mean, it's just sort of tedious. You don't see any progress because there really isn't much under the visually, and then you get to another segment where it's just like slap this on that, and you're like, wow, you've really jumped. Yeah. So it's the weirdness of Bearded Bucket asked, was it Physect or Seabor? It was Physect that had that bad print. I know your first Cybor was not great either, though. Do you know that? No, my first Cybor was not great either. Yeah, and my second Cybor wasn't great either. Oh, that sucks. So. Yeah, I think I got the second round of Cybor, and it had some issues for sure. They definitely made them all right, and I'm a fan of them. They've been really receptive to feedback, which, like, granted, I do think that a lot of things should be caught beforehand. Like, it shouldn't be use the community for feedback, but at least taking responsibility and be like, yeah, we'll fix that, versus ignoring / dancing around it or whatever, like a lot of other manufacturers do. So I try it. I don't know. Like when I reviewed the first Cybor kit, Seabor, whatever. I totally got what did I say? I got it, and then I saw and heard that they took a lot of my feedback and like improved. And a lot of people who bought kits afterwards said, "Oh yeah, it's like so much better." And I was like, "Oh, awesome! That's all great." And then I got the second kit, and I had some of the exact same problems that I did with the first one. So
and
did
I'm
they
like,
not give you the latest kit, even though?
no, because it was originally I bought a 0.1 kit, and that's what I reviewed the first time, and then the second time they sent me a 0.2 kit. So like they absolutely had time to update, and it was dumb things like, and it wasn't exactly the same problems. Like I know when I built the first one, the 0.1, they didn't have enough M3 screws, like M3x8s or something, because they used the original V00 panels, which had
oh, sure.
So like you needed thicker screws to like bolt them on or something. I forget what it was, but it didn't have enough of like one size of M3 screw, and I was like, that's a really dumb thing, because like the bomb from the Voron team has extra, so like that means we went through the extra and you didn't provide enough. Whatever.
That sucks. Yeah.
That was definitely one of those, like, did you ever actually build one of your own machines? Because if there's not enough screws, how did you build it? And people said, oh yeah, that I didn't have a problem with that. I heard from them after that, and they were like, okay, we're upping the number by like 25. I'm like, that's awesome. Cool. That's perfect. That's great.
Yep.
But then when I built the 0.2, I ran into a different size of screw that I didn't have enough screws for. And I'm like,
dude, you're like, come on, we've been here before. This feels like deja vu.
Yeah. And from what I've heard from other people, they are not a particular fan of me at this point. So, whatever.
Reading what Millennium Machines is saying, they said that we have revised the print settings going forward. So if you look at Casa, there are now 3 profiles for all parts. Oh, neat. Okay. Let me really quickly look at this. So if I go to desktop and we go to Casa and we go to the printing guide. Structural, semi-structural, and aesthetic. Oh, nice. That's what they got. Structural, semi-structural, and aesthetic. And that way,
makes sense.
Yep, that's super cool. I like that a lot. That's awesome. Okay. Last little.
Somebody asked, Dodge Charger 440 asked, what's my go-to ABS printer? It's my Voron 2.4 or my Bamboo.
Yep.
No, it's really my Voron 2.4. I don't know what it is. My Bamboo X1, I printed a handful of the parts on this on the X1 just to save myself trouble with multicoloring them. And I don't know why, but it handles the Polymaker ABS a little funky. I don't know if I just never tuned it well enough. I thought I did, but like my Z consistency on the housing, spindle housing that I just printed yesterday is just like not great. So my Voron 2.4 is my go-to.
I use X1C and P1S a lot for ABS. Yeah, I do. Is everything always perfect? No, but it's fairly dang consistent. 2.4 I've done a bit on. Same with the V0. If it's a small part, I'll usually use the V0, but that's primarily been it. And then also, I mean, it also varies. Like if I have a printer in that I'm reviewing, I will try to throw as much as I can at it. So if a project requires ABS and it's an enclosed printer, I'll say, hey, let's see how it does with ABS. So I kind of go through, it just depends, really.
Yeah, and then actually this time around, I did do that too. I used the, for this project, a handful of the primary parts I printed on the Prusa Mark IV. Nice. Just because I hadn't thrown enough at it yet to.
Yeah, yours is enclosed. I got the enclosure kit in, but I've been working on a pretty large. Come on, why are we right at the very end of this reel? I wonder if the reel is just a little. There we go. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm working on a pretty big PTG project, so it doesn't need to be enclosed. And I figured once that project was done, then I would get to building the enclosure. And I remember based off of jumping into one of your streams and seeing the length of it, it seems like it's a fairly involved build.
It's not involved. It's just annoyingly time consuming because it's just a ton of screws.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's easy. It's just a ton of screws.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's more what I'm getting at is like it's not like it's not a like let me knock this out really quick thing. It's
definitely use an electric screwdriver.
Okay.
Save yourself the trouble.
That is good feedback. Why are we? I don't understand these this particular. There we go.
One rail fighting you?
Well, it's been both now. Like, it's just like when I get to the last little section of the bearings, it doesn't want to slide smoothly. Once it's on, it's no big deal. It's making me pucker each time because it's not fully. I just don't want to drop a ball on the ground. That's basically it.
Yep.
So, okay, I got one last bearing block to slide on. Then we'll do the giveaway, and then yeah, you let me know. It will be at the 3-hour mark almost. I'd like to at least get a couple screws in.
I see you right now, or I don't know if I caught you. I see you on stream. It dawned on me, I don't think we should be sliding these carriages back on. Because we're going to be mounting them to the other side of the plate, so we're going to have 2 different sets of rails. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
It dawned on me after I put one back together, greasing the longer one. I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Okay. So you think X's are fine, the ones we initially did, but these Y's, keep them on the blocks?
I think probably keep them on the blocks, yeah.
Okay. We will do that. Let's see. The Casa prototype was knocked out in 3 hours over 4. Damn, that's awesome. Hey, Kevin. Okay, let me slide these back on to these guys one more time, and then I will do the drawing. Yeah, you have a good point. I feel like it's going to be really funky trying to juggle
right.
2 sets of rails wanting to go side to side. So luckily this works pretty well.
Yeah,
dummy carriages. Okay, so that one's good. And so yeah, 60-second warning on the Polymaker giveaway. If you haven't filled out the form, I'm going to be closing it in just a second. It sounds obvious now thinking about it, that the idea of having 2 things back to back with big rails is not a great idea.
Yeah.
But here I was just like blindly doing it, you know?
Yeah, no, I was too. I did one rail, and then it dawned on me as I started to do the second one. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Alrighty. Alright, those are back in. We got those in. Afternoon, everyone. Which material did you use for Milo printed parts? So I went with all Polymaker. I got grease on. Did you have gloves on the whole time or no?
Yep, gloves.
You're smart.
Gloves.
You're a smart person. So primary is Galaxy ABS. So it's got black with a bit of shimmer, and then or glitter flakes. There we go, a little closer. And then the front is, or the accent pieces, sorry, are gold ABS. Those are the ones we went with. Okay, let's do this. So I'm gonna remove the form. Do the side split shot. There we go. Unpin, remove, unpin, bam. Okay, so if anyone's filling it out, we got like 10 seconds. All right, 79 responses. Did we hit 100 likes? I didn't look at. We got 101. Thank you for everyone that hit like. If you haven't hit like, do it now. Let's see. I always forget, man. I'm like, wait a minute.
I do too.
I should probably be like engagement. hit the like button.
I always do too. It's always my chat being like, there's not enough likes. I'm like, right, that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, so it looks like total of 79. Nope, 80. One person snuck in. Congratulations to you. All right, we'll copy and paste everybody. Wheel of names. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, here we go. Wheel of names. We got 80 people in here. Since you are the guest on today's build series, you get to pick how many times are we shuffling. What is our magic number? And the range, you can go pretty high, but like don't pick within reason. Like if you say it's over 100, I'm gonna say no, man.
Yeah, no. Let's go for 42. The number, the answer.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 2. Okay, good luck everyone. And also I will For anyone that hasn't been in one of these before, I will send you an email within 24 hours. It'll have a short form. You'll fill it out, and then you'll either get a gift card or you'll get to pick out a spool of filament. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, good luck.
Almost 24 months subscribed.
Nice. Thank you very much for the donation. 10 years, almost 24 months. What are you at? 23 months right now? Robert Stewart. That's a familiar name. Congratulations. I don't know if you've won before, but I definitely know you hang out all the time. So congratulations. I will send you again an email in the next 24 hours, and then I think you're in the States, but I could be wrong. Either way, you're getting a spool of filament, either via a gift card that's in transforming into it, or you are getting to pick one out directly. So congratulations. Okay. All right, are you good to go for a little bit longer to try to get some of these on? Okay, cool. I have an absolute hard cutoff at 3 my time, which would be in 1 hour and 15 minutes. So we like can't go on indefinitely. And if you're tired and like again, just it's fine. So, but let's at least try to get a couple bolts in this.
Yeah. Let's do more than just grease rounds.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's go to desktop. So first thing we are doing is we did that. So let me get all the parts. So M3 10 socket head, M3 5 socket heads. We have 8 rails. We need M3 heat inserts. Robert, yeah, there's Robert. Yeah, congratulations. M3 heat insert. It's M3 3x10. M3. Did I drop hardware? Was it? No. Oh, I did. That was the sound of of hardware back hitting the ground. Okay, these are 2.5. Those are teeny. M3 by 3.85. What are the ones we want? These are. It just says 5 M3. So I'm assuming it's the
M3 by 5.
M3 by 5 is what we want.
Yep. You're reading it a little dyslexic.
No, I'm not. It says 5 M3 heat inserts.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought
you're reading.
I was reading what you have up on the screen. M3 by 5. The screws. Don't mind me.
Yeah. Okay. I know. I think it is supposed to be M3 by 3.85 because it doesn't specify. I was like, wait a minute, man.
No, don't mind me. I'm just sabotaging you.
It's chat that's doing that, or I'm like, someone will say something and I'll take it for, for real. And
you missed that really critical step.
Yep. Okay, so 3.5, 3.10 we've got. M3 heat inserts we've got. We need M320 socket heads. Pretty much all the M320s we need right now. M3. Why don't I see M320s? I'm sure it's right in front of my face. There we go, M320s. 4 M3 washers. M3 washers. 1 XY gantry plate and 1 XY transition. I think that's just the printed part. So, okay. So orientation, the ones going on underneath. Is it safe to assume? Yes. Attach the lower Y rail. So it is the Y rail we are attaching, and we are thread locking. So I want to make sure orientation is still correct. This looks correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I start with the orientation we had before, yeah.
Yeah, so I think this was it, with 1 here, 2 here. And you said again that that has to be right. If screws are going in here, that's the only thing that would make sense to me. So, okay, so let's line up rails. I'm also gonna get Loctite out and prepped. Bring you guys down. Okay, these are, I'm trying to think, there we go. These, I don't know where my 3mm driver is that doesn't have a ball on the end of it, which kind of sucks. I've got my Allen keys, like the Wera ones that I can use for the little last bit of ugga-dugga. They're socket heads, so hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. But with button heads, it always concerns me a bit.
Yep.
Okay, so let's squirt some of this Loctite onto this plastic bag. Also, for anyone that's not aware, Loctite and styrene does not play well together. So when you're working with this stuff, be careful like getting on your hands. I don't know if I've told you, man, but my first V0 build, which was, I keep going back to it because it was truly like, it was truly a learning lesson for me. But I kept having issues. I was Loctiting the X printed part to the X backing of the carriage, and then it kept cracking on me within 24 hours, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, dude, I thought like I was tightening it or my print settings were off, and I think I tried 3 times. And taking apart the mini self burner is not a lot of fun.
Nope.
And I kept doing that, and finally I printed it in carbon fiber nylon, and it just worked. And I didn't realize that it was because of the Loctite. So one question I've got, Alan, is that looking at this first photo, it looks like it's showing only. It looks like it's only showing 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 screws. Why would that?
That is a good question. I see that too.
These are supposed to be going into the bearing block, so that doesn't make sense to me, unless there's another step coming up where we're using those with longer screws, but I don't see that.
Yeah, sure enough, it does call for M3 or for 12 M3x5. It does in the parts breakdown.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a graphic thing then. Millennium says that's correct. Keep going. Wait, it'll make sense later. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, no. It calls for 12, so it is supposed to be 12.
Gotcha. Okay. And it looks like it's the outer ones on the one side.
Is it the outer ones? Okay.
Is it not?
Oh, I see what it is. It's this cable management piece goes into those holes and we bolt through it. So that's what it is. I see, says the blind man.
All right. Okay, so I'm just gonna do like one on each block really quickly here. Okay, so for all of these, I am dipping them in Loctite. You use liquid Loctite or the stick stuff?
Gel stick stuff.
Okay.
So much nicer
than the liquid that I'm using?
Yep. I used to do the same thing. I'd make a pool of it, and it's just always a pain. The stick stuff, so much nicer. I just got a little dab sticking out the top of it right now. I can just stick it to.
Wait, why does this not?
You're facing the wrong way. You're supposed to be going the perpendicular to the direction you are right now.
That makes sense. Thank you. I was like, this isn't aligning. What am I doing?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Your carriages are faced. Thank you, Millennium. I would have figured it out. I wouldn't have made it very far. I should have played it off. This was a test. Everybody, he passed. Congratulations. Yeah.
Believe it or not, a designer passed the test.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I might need to get some of that, pick up a stick. I've had this bottle forever. It lasts a really long time, so I keep kind of being like, yeah, when I burn through it, I'll figure it out, but I'm never burning through it. Yup. There we go. Cool. Let's see. Okay, so this is... And I am right in saying that it's going in the outer holes for the right side. It looks like based off the image, right?
No, it goes on the inner.
Oh, it is on the inner. Okay.
It's the inner ones. Yep.
Okay, cool. What are you spraying? I hear you spraying something.
IPA. Wiping grease off my hands.
Gotcha.
Grease. Millennium coming in with I designed this a year and a half ago. Don't take my word for everything. I know that feeling.
It's hard to remember. I mean, like, there's so much stuff that I've done and I've like dove in really head first into on like for videos, and like someone will ask me a question months later. I'm like, I don't remember. Like, it's just like usually once I start going on it again, you know, it'll jot your memory and you'll be like, oh, that's right. It'll feel more familiar. But it's tough to remember so many little details about things if you're not constantly building.
I don't know how many times I've watched my own videos on its subject when I needed to get back to, like, when I needed to do something, I'd go back and watch my own video.
Yep, we've done it on stream before, and someone was like you know, Inception, watching a Modbot stream, watching a Modbot video. And I'm like, yep, I don't remember how this goes. No, totally. Yeah, that's how. It's funny when you watch your own video and you're like, oof, like what, that wasn't really clear, or like, you know, if you like catch something and you're like, oh, I should have added that detail, but you know.
Yep.
You got yours on?
Yes, mine are all on. So I'm gonna flip now. Whoop. Now it's time for these loose carriages.
I'll swap to you for a second, or for a bit. There you go.
All right.
You are the driver. Mandic needs to change. Wait, Mandic needs to change his light? I don't know that. What?
I don't understand what that's saying.
Yeah, what do you mean, nice? Make sure to leave those screws loose. The ones in the carriage that we just did right now, or the ones on the other side where you're flipping it, or all the above?
I left all of them slightly loose because there's always going to be alignment when we're getting on the frame.
Yep.
Which realistically, Loctiting them now is kind of silly, but Loctite will kind of still serve a function afterward. But
I wonder if he meant he needs to change. Like, I wonder. The only thing I'm trying to guess on what Nice was saying. I wonder if he means that your video was dark, and that's why he's saying you need to change your light. I don't know.
I don't know. I always worry. Like, people tell me my streams are dark, but I have it up on a TV in front of me, and I see perfectly fine, and my preview on OBS is perfectly fine. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. People said that for a while on my videos, but mine actually were dark. It was on videos. It was just I don't know. I wasn't running enough light because I was originally like, yeah, I'm going for this kind of like dramatic effect, and I'm like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this? Like, it doesn't.
I do.
Like,
I do have a contrasty look. Yeah.
But that's your style, right? Like, it's intentional. Mine was just not. So I was like not realizing what I was doing. But
lightning? Don't know what that. Still don't know what that means. But
how's the DJI Lav mic? It's been working well for you. Yeah, I've had this one for at least a year and a half now, and I really like it a lot. I went from the Rode ones to this, and I like the little charging case for it. I'm sure there's better mics. Like, I bet you if Alan was like, yeah, man, your mic quality, it could be better. I'm sure it's the case. But for like running gun simplicity, like they work fine in my opinion. You can hear me clear. They're really convenient. They charge. Yeah, I'm a fan. Yep. Okay, so we're flipping them. So you're installing them sideways, kind of?
Well, that's what they're crisscross because your X and your Y axis.
No. So. What I mean is, how are you feeding them in? Did you stand up your plate on its side? Like, how are you getting the screws?
I'm coming down through the top. Just lining them up down below.
Oh, you put your pairing blocks on the bottom, not on the top. That's why. You did what makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I flipped the whole carriage over.
Yep. Okay, so for these ones, we will leave. We'll leave their little dummy things in place.
Here, switch to the obs. This ought to help. Perspective.
Okay. I am being a goofball. I'm also putting my blocks the wrong way.
There we go.
Man. I'm like, what am I doing today? Hello. It's my first time. Okay. That looks fine. That looks okay.
I mean, it's your first time building a Milo.
This is true.
You know, there's always those things where I come in like building the Mercury 1, and I'm used to building Vorons, you know, or like
Uh-huh.
I'm looking forward to it when I get around to building the rat rig, where I'm just like in autopilot, and then I get to a point where I'm like,
Yep.
error,
That's not gonna
something
fly here.
different.
Yep. No, I absolutely. It's always a bit of a, you get muscle memory in a way, and that doesn't fly when you're, it does fly like when you're staying in the Voron, you know, kind of like ecosystem of machines, but once you try something else, you're like, that is not right.
Yeah. Squirrel. Delmar in the chat. Squirrels.
Yep. The amount of times I'm like halfway through a thought, and I look up a chat, and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting thing. I'm gonna talk about that. These screws being longer is because it looks like this is a thicker portion of the plate, right? That's the only thing
Correct.
I can assume. Yeah. Okay.
Correct. It is thicker. Yeah, no, that's I didn't acknowledge it for like a month or two until I was like streaming regularly for like a month or two. But I tell people all the time now, my streaming is just my ADD accountability buddies in chat. Like,
yeah.
Where did I put that tool? Oh, you set it down over there. Thank you.
Yeah. Steve said similar things to me too when we've talked. Like, you know, it just, yeah. So I very much so get it. It also, I didn't realize, you don't realize how squirrely you are until like you got like the, you know, the peanut gallery or whatever telling you how squirrely you are. Like, yeah, I really am all over the place, aren't I?
Oh,
like,
I know how squirrely I am. So
okay.
it's just that now everybody else gets to see how squirrely I am, because, you know, an edited video I come across a little more put together.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, same with me. Phil says that your lighting is much lower. Yeah, mine's probably overexposed as well. So I think that's probably it. But yeah, Mandix is.
I think it's
more...
probably the stark difference of our two is
that makes
highlighting
it seem even more. Yep.
I got to be the goth kid over here.
Yeah, I'm over here like, look at that prep. I'm like, sorry.
ADHD stream team carried coming in there.
Yeah. It always, I mean, I don't know. I would love to see, and I'm sure it exists though, like a duo that, oh, what the heck? Shoot, 1 second here. What did we do? That both are like such focused personalities that they stream together, and it's just like straight focus. It's not me, man. Like, I'm not your guy. Thoughts on Voron Tap? I like Voron Tap. I was running it on my Trident. I am switching over to Beacon on it when I do the rebuild, because I'm going away from the self burner on it. But I will say, like, it was the easiest to set up and has been the most consistent as far as like not having to ever do anything with the offset and it just going. So I like it. I think that if you're building a machine and you're looking for a good balance between reliability, speed, and quality, that Tap's a solid solution. You do lose, like, if you're going for straight up speed, it wouldn't be my choice. Like, if that's your primary goal. But in reality, like, as much as I think speed is fun and I like playing around with it and showing it off, I don't find it to be very practical, really, without going incredibly overkill building around that. So that's my thought. You're gonna be doing Tap on some. No, you're not. Yeah, you are. You're 2.4.
Nope.
I thought you posted. Nope. I thought you posted. No, even though you posted.
It came
Tap.
with the kit. It came with the kit. I'm gonna give it away on stream.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because I'm going Beacon.
No. Okay, gotcha. So
I'm looking forward to Beacon. I've never run Tap. I haven't run it on anything because I'm not willing to give up speed trade-offs.
Yeah.
And when I first considered doing it, it was still like everything. There was no really good Tap kit when I first really considered it. And so I just haven't bothered. But now that Beacon is getting Beacon Contact, I have no reason to do it. So
yeah,
I'm really hoping Beacon Contact is as good as I expect it's going to be. So
I'm hoping next big gen Voron overhaul implements load cells in their toolhead.
That'd be cool.
I'm hoping for more rigidity and load cells. I don't
love I don't know, because like the what was I gonna say, the Magneto X with its load cell, I was absolutely starting to see like you could see where you were probing, you know. So the
You
same
mean-
problem you'll run into with tap pushing a little too hard in your bed.
Gotcha. I feel
And
like
also,
I feel like that can be, you know, something that's, what's the word? Like not calculated or calibrated, but like
Tuned,
either
like-
yeah, tuned, yeah. So that way, like, it's not going quite so aggressive. I mean, I know there's trade-offs because as far as I'm aware, like all load cells have, I feel like they have some level of thermal drift. At least that's what I. So you have to figure out how, you know, are you counting through that through some kind of a curve that you're running on your printer that then basically sets up how much it needs to accompany. Like, so yeah, I guess there's nothing's perfect. It's all pros and cons, and figuring out, like, for what you're trying to run, do the pros outweigh the con? The proper CNC top mount is great. Proper CNC. Which proper one do you mean? Is that Vitali or is that
I think Vitali's the one that everybody says is the best.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
I have no experience with it. I know I like Vitali's work. I've got Vitali carriage on my Trident, and I got a Vitali carriage for the 2.4 overhaul. But yeah.
Okay, got 2 more screws going in here, and then looks like there's heat inserts. Insert M3 heat inserts into the XY drag chain transition. So heat insert time. I would really like to get these rails on, just so that way I'm not worried about anything happening with the carriages, you know?
Yeah, no, agreed.
Because those little cover guys,
They fall out way too easy.
yeah, way easy. I don't feel comfortable even moving it. Let's see. Oh shoot. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave this right where you are. Don't go anywhere. Let me switch over cam real quick. Side cam. Where is my stealth press? Wait. I'm confused. I see the stealth press reflecting in the mirror of my V2.4 panel, but I don't see. I can't tell what the angle it is. I think it's over here. Oh my, yeah, it was bouncing behind. That's hilarious. I was like, I see you. Where are you? Okay, there we are.
That's a special level of lost.
Yeah. Alrighty. Plugging you in. What iron are you using for soldering / heat inserts generally?
A Weller, oh hell, base station. I think WE1010. I want to say.
Gotcha. It's got a big big main hub for it.
Yeah, the big base station, and yeah, it's like their cheapest of their Pro series ones, I think.
Okay. Where is? Okay, this is the part. So it looks like 2 inserts are going into here. Have you tried any of the little guys, like the Pencil or the TS100?
I've used them, and I'd like to get one. I just never.
Like yours works, right? It works.
Mine
fine
works
for
beautifully,
Yep,
and then I only really need it when I travel, you know, and I
Sure.
don't travel and work on stuff enough, so
Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah. Somebody loaned me one at Earth when we were building the Trident because I had to do a couple inserts for parts that need to be printed or whatever, and it was great. It really was. The Pencil is impressive.
I love the Pencil. This is the TS100. I will say, like, I have both. The Pencil is my soldering iron now, and like for soldering, and then the TS100 is permanently tethered to this stealth press. And I think I like the Pencil a little bit more, not for much reason other than it's not like I like the name and I think it's adorable. Like I don't know, like there's no functionally it's the same. I feel. However. Yeah, I also had an iron I loved. I used for like 10 years. I was like, it's great. I'm not going to do anything with it. But then it finally died on me. And that's when I was like, cool, I'm going to get the Pencil. But yeah, had it still been working, I don't think I would have swapped. They're just for the sake, for the sake of it, really. There was no need to do that. I'm using a Pencil right now and I love it. Yeah, Pencil's red. It's a cool, and you can get it if you order it from the manufacturer. If you can find it when it's in stock. It's cheaper than the TS100 as well, which is nice.
Where'd I just put the washers? found them and immediately lost them. Ah, here they are.
I know that way too well. Where's the driver? I just used it. Anyone in chat see where I put the driver?
Yeah.
Oops, you guys can't really see that, huh? It's focusing on my hand. Sorry. I usually turn off autofocus, but because of things being bigger in today's stream, it's been a little easier to use it. Okay. Let's move you where I won't burn myself. You go on top of the 2.4. Okay, so we did that. You may notice that some kits, like LDOs, come with 2 different lengths of heat inserts. The smaller ones are used wherever drag chain's attached. Okay, I didn't even realize it came with 2 lengths.
Yeah, that's why it called out different sizes.
Gotcha. So not widths though, but lengths. It's weird, I don't see...
It's M3 by 6.23. Yeah, 6.23.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I would have noticed that.
They look substantially bigger, but
yeah.
they're not.
Yep. Okay, so now we're doing... Oh, so this is where... Gotcha. This is where we're finally... So we're flipping this over again.
Yep, back to the first configuration.
Yep, okay. So... Let's do this without moving the blocks. Ah! Oh my god. That's terrifying, dude. Okay, so you definitely want to go not the way that's going to have them sliding. Cool. Okay.
All right, where's my electric driver? These holes are a little tight.
On the printed part, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did I put the... There we go. So this is going outwards, it looks like. Oh yeah, my printed holes suck, dude. I need to use a reamer. This is not... I'm looking at them right now, and I don't have clear paths. Where are...
Yeah, in fact, now that you say that, I'm going to pop them back off and just quickly run a bit through them.
Yeah. Were there supports, or I think they air printed, right? Like, or
they're support free, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Bit probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't have... We'll just try the reamer. My bet you can just use the dummy blocks for now. Wait, for... What did I miss? The box means you can't see... Pencil. I don't know what I missed.
I don't either. No idea. Sorry for drill noises.
No, it's fine. I wish I had a drill up here. This the reamer is doing an okay job. Can anyone hear Mandic's drill? I'm curious because I am passing it through a filter, so I think it's only me that's hearing it.
I drill tapped. I tapped my entire electronics panel for the Trident using the drill on stream the other day, and everybody said it was fine. So.
Okay, cool.
And I don't run noise reduction on my stream.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Okay, someone said just a little salty day. Nope, no drill noises. Okay, this isn't perfect by any means, but hopefully it'll work.
Yeah, that made a big difference for me.
Okay.
Big difference.
And these are M320s, right? I think.
M320s with a washer.
Okay. Where did they go?
I like that they used washers. There's a lot of places on printer builds where like people don't include washers, and I really don't care for.
I mean, this is
Milo parts.
Sorry.
Oh, the Millennium's in the chat saying the Milo parts are not scaled for shrinkage. That's probably what we're running into. Makes sense. Especially this ABS. I find Polymaker. I use mostly Polymaker ASA, which I find shrinks less than ABS. So I don't worry about that in my designs either. But Polymaker ABS, I feel like shrinks just a little more. So that's probably what we ran into.
I think I'm gonna need an electric, or at least like, what's this? I got my LTT. I don't want to use. That's what I should have been using earlier. Or I guess we haven't clamped anything down, so it's not a big deal. But sure beats trying to tighten this thing down with a small driver.
Yeah.
You were one of the reasons I got this thing, man.
Was it, oh, the LTT
The
screwdriver?
LTT, yeah, dude. I was like holding out, and I was like, oh, maybe Black Friday there'll be a sale, and there was, but it was like just solid colors. I was like, meh. But then they dropped the retro white and purple, and I was like, I'm getting it. I need it.
It must happen.
Yeah.
I screwed myself on this. I should have read the instructions.
What'd you do?
Or wait, no. I modified Steve's bearing blocks. The next thing we got to do is X and Y backlash bearing nuts. And I modified them, but I modified them for typical Voron inserts, and this uses the longer inserts. So I got to get creative. I got to get a little creative.
Gotcha. So you're saying you don't have enough depth, basically?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I just got to. Yours will be fine.
Shit. Oh no. The magnet on the driver picked up the whole bag of M35s that I didn't have closed yet and just dumped them on the... I mean, luckily it's all right here, but yeah, magnets, man.
Yeah, gotta love how strong that magnet is.
Yeah.
Did I what? Yeah, I mean, yours should be fine, but...
Gotcha, okay. It's so quiet, it doesn't bother, at least for me. No drill noises. Gosh, I wish I had used a... I wish I had an electric right now for this. This kind of sucks.
Yeah. Now I'm good. Yeah, Steve's design had a very thin wall, and I did some tricks to thicken it up, but I only made it a certain depth, and it wasn't the right depth I needed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well.
You just drilled it out?
Yeah, I just drilled it out. Drilled out with a 4.5 bit, so it'll be tight fit, but it'll work. It'll work.
Well, while I'm doing this, I'm gonna pass it to you. It's because I'm over here just screwing in 4 screws, taking forever. So I'll let you have primary.
I'm gonna switch to OBSBot cam. Bird's eye view.
You must scale them yourself. That might be, if I do like a recap on it, that might be my recommendation then, is to do like, what is it typically? It's 100 point, I think a lot of people do 100.04 or something like that.
I think it varies by material, but I never bother personally.
Really? I definitely have. There's been a few builds. I think I built a Lurge like cantilever printer a while back, and that was intended to be printed in PLA. And I was cracking parts, so I had to scale everything up. Which could have been also though related to just filament tuning, right? Like if I had printed out a couple, tested out the parts, and I would have been like, okay, I need to basically tune this filament. But instead, to counter it, I think maybe cheated and just did the scaling of everything.
Yep.
I feel like there's quite a few ways to accomplish the same thing, and it's kind of some of it's personal preference.
I always feel bad. Like, you know, a bunch of my designs require particular fits, like my can cups especially.
Oh, yeah.
And like people are like, oh, mine's too tight, and then somebody else is like, oh, mine's too loose. And I'm like, I can't account for everybody. I just can't. Yeah. Like, you know, I can only do what I can so much.
Yep.
I can't account for your Amazon special filament that shrinks. It's PLA, but somehow shrinks 10% or something. Yeah. Like or your out of tune machine.
There's a lot of variables, man.
There's so many variables in design work. Like, yeah.
This question's for you, from Scopa. How are you finding the OBSBot?
OBSBot. The OBSBot. I really like the OBSBot camera, but it's a webcam. Like, you know, I'm sure you folks on stream can see, like, here's my A cam, the GH6, and then boop, there's the OBSBot. Like, it's definitely webcam quality. But I really love it for this. Like, I've got the controls right up here on my screen. I can reposition, I can zoom in. Otherwise, I would have to be like, hold up, let me go move the camera angle and like change things. And the motion tracking like works surprisingly well. Every once in a while, I see it like it'll just randomly be pointing at the ceiling because it like lost track of me at some point. But, you know, overall, I really like it. I was telling Daniel about it the other day. I'm not 100%. For me, being somebody who's particularly picky about video quality, I'm not sure that I would invest in a handful of them. Like, some people I know, I think like Vector 3D was talking about swapping like to a 3-cam setup for streams only with those, and I just couldn't see myself doing that. But I'm just too damn picky. So.
So I'm going to, because I've got the actual brass insert tool thing, and I don't want to wait for it to cool down, what I'm probably going to do is just swap over. Did you just use a pointy tip for the larger M5 one, or no? Did you swap over to something else?
I'm doing that right now. I'm swapping over to another one, and my M3 one is still a little hot. So.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use any special for the M3 one, because I know I can do that with my Pine Sol. Then I'll swap over to the M5 for at least those, those two. If I can find where the heck the bits are. I think they're... Oh, great. What did I... No. What did I do with them? Oh. There we go. M5, M4, M2. Great. Is M5 missing? No way.
So there's 44 of them. It's a fairly big bag of them.
No. I meant the tip for the iron. Yeah. Yep.
I heard you digging through stuff, so I thought it was the hardware.
No, I don't have a place for the CNC kitchen like tip things, so they're in a tub below my. You can't see below, but it doesn't look better than how the desk looks right now. Yeah, man. The floor is also a fair game surface, so.
I actually filmed a shop tour yesterday, so you will see just how
that's exciting.
Bad mine is.
When do you have an ETA of when you're hoping to drop it?
Probably the first week or second week of July.
Okay. Oh, so a ways out.
Yeah, a ways out, because it's
Gotcha.
like I show outside of the studio and everything, so like
yep.
Stuff I'm not willing to show normally.
Yep. That's cool. I don't think I've ever done. I've had people ask about, I mean, not outside, but just, kind of a setup guide.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going with the longer ones here. Hopefully the nut will fit in there. I see that, like the heat inserts where the nut's going to be protrude a little bit.
Yeah, they're very close to the hole. That's what I'm talking about with part of what I modified about the Steve's design.
Oh, gotcha. You gave yourself a little bit. Did you bring him out a hair, or?
No, they're still very close to the holes. It's hard to explain.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Mine are doing the same thing. I didn't improve upon that. I think I didn't talk to Steve. That's definitely one of the ones that I modified, and then I looked at it afterward and realized that he had changed, and I was kind of like wanted to call him up and be like, "Why'd you do that?" But
there was a few that I brought in where I saw like an obvious thing with other ones where I'm like, I don't see any difference. I wonder what he did. All right. He did tell me though that some of the changes were really minor things, so I'm just assuming that's one of those cases where it was so small.
Yeah, like I know, like I made a super. I know one of the changes I made to his was a super minor, like between the Y and the X block, the openings for the backlash nut or the screw nut for different sizes, and that drove me nuts. So like they were like 0.1 millimeter different between the two. I'm like, no, that won't stand.
Tiny stuff, yeah. But like kind of a perfectionist stuff, right?
Right, dumb stuff.
Okay.
But one thing I did do, I teardropped the holes on them.
Oh, cool.
I should put, probably once I get this machine assembled, I'll probably do like he did and put together a release of my tweaks. So
repository of sorts.
Yeah. And especially the the hex face, because everybody wants hexagons on their things.
This is true. Okay, doing these guys. Are you deliberately hiding behind the box? Wait, what box?
I think it might have been when you. I think that comment
this
came
box.
right when you were. Oh.
Is it this box? Like this guy? This one maybe? I don't know. Is this the right? Yeah, this is right. For some reason these don't stand up. Let's see. There we go. I hope I'm doing this right. Something feels off about what I'm doing.
No, it's just a tight fit. It's a tight fit. The holes, I would probably say, should be like 0.1 millimeter bigger or something. It's probably the shrinkage. It's probably our material shrinkage too.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was concerned. I was like, I looked. That's why I double checked to make sure. Like, is this the right hole? There's only.
Yeah, no, mine went in pretty tough too.
Okay, cool. All right, makes me feel better.
I'm now realizing that it looks like I'm probably not getting my S1 today.
Oh, really? The tracking up. You got FedEx? Is that mine was FedEx?
FedEx, yeah.
Okay.
It says out for delivery, but it says by 2:30. It's almost 4:30 here, so.
I usually assume by 5 latest, whatever. Unless it's Amazon. Amazon is the one that they'll deliver in the middle of the night if they have to. But everybody else, I'm like, by 5 o'clock, if it's not here, I ain't seeing it today. It's not coming. That's funny.
Mine's just been my S1. Like FedEx has literally bounced it around Pennsylvania. Like it was in one location, then it came to a close location to Philadelphia, then it went back to the previous location at like 2 hours away.
That's annoying. Yeah, I wanted to ask you before the stream how it's been, but I felt like he probably would have brought it up if after our last conversation. He probably would have mentioned it. That makes sense as to why then. Okay, so brass nuts then.
I put the brass nuts.
If you're cool with it, then I think because I have a hard cutoff in like almost 40 minutes anyway. So I want to say we go till maybe 2:45, which I think would be 4:45 your time. So maybe 20 minutes.
Like okay, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Goodbye.
Ideally, I'd like to get further, but it's gonna be coming up on 4 hours at that point. So M38. And Phil, no, I'm not intentionally hiding behind the box. Let's see. They also wick a lot more heat than M3 inserts and feel harder to put in. Okay, that could be what it is. Because let's say they definitely took a lot more time and ooga-doogas to push into place. What are you looking for, Alan?
The brass nuts.
Gotcha.
I thought they were in like a motion box, but they were in the hardware box. I forgot.
Oh.
I forgot. Oh yeah, my holes need to be reamed a little bit for that.
For the brass wait, which hole?
Yeah, because of the squeeze out from the inserts.
Gotcha. I'm hoping mine will work. I think they might work. I think they'll. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Millennium said to ream out with a 10mm bit. The problem is 10mm bits are not common in the United States.
I have a 10mm reamer. I only got these because
a little extra effort it pushed in.
Okay.
On mine anyway.
This was another Steve recommendation. We're doing a build and I'm like, it's tight. And he's like, you don't have a reamer set? Yeah.
Reamers are freaking great. I should have a set. All right, what size screws are these supposed to be?
M3/8.
M3/8, all right.
Are you Loctiting these as well?
I will, yeah, because especially these ones can get locked down.
Okay, I definitely didn't Loctite the ones into the printed part, which is good.
Yep.
We don't want to do that, but yeah, these ones I think I would Loctite as well, since this is what's going to be driving the axes.
Right.
what's on your agenda for the rest of the day? Is it stuff related to moving or video stuff or?
I actually have no idea.
Okay.
I was kind of hopeful the S1 would be here so I could like film an unboxing or something, and
yeah.
But I should work on this week's video at some point. I started it like 2 weeks ago, and I got to finish it. But
I can relate to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably start. I should realistically move to moving stuff, packing. So
yeah.
This is a stream until you get done stream. I mean, done what we feel like getting done.
Yeah, I know that Breaks and Makes, or no, now he's back to 3D Maker Noob. Joe, he did it in one stream, which is nuts. It was solo, so the only distractions were chat. You know,
that's a like big distraction for me. So
yeah. There's no way, man. Like I remember watching when the V0, I think it was the V0 kit launched or whatever, and Nero was doing the one stream completion, and like I just was like, oh man, I can't do it.
No way. Nope.
Okay, so this is not going in further. Let's see. I think
it should.
Yeah, I know. Well, the one side was fine, so I know it's an issue with. There we go. Just needed a little more leverage. Hey Dom, that's Man of the Croc. I potentially will be doing a second weekly stream on an occasion over the next month here, because I do want to wrap up the Positron Journey Maker once I figure out what we're doing about the power supply on that. So I will. It's going to be fairly sporadic. Like, hey, I've got an opening for a few hours. Let's stream. But not the norm, and I don't know what the schedule will be like on that. What electric screwdriver do you use? Or is it a drill?
Well, the drill, I'm drilling out the holes and the other ones that I got to modify.
Gotcha.
The screwdriver I use is like IFU, super cheapy, simple.
The name.
Yeah. It's Amazon special. Nothing particularly special. But it's like $30 for the kit that comes in and it works well. I quite like it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's not strong, but it saves my wrist a lot of carpal tunnel.
Gets the job done. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you do your heated suits for your X block yet or no?
That's what I'm just starting on.
Okay. I'm gonna do this one. X block is the big one. Yep. Let me grab the iron again. I finally got my underwire. Hey, congratulations, Dom. That's awesome. What was it's a Switchwire serial, right? I believe. What's the number at right now, or what was your serial? Boom. Okay, so we'll start with the big three. Man, these big ones. Ow! Damn it! I touched the iron for just a split second.
That's not how you're supposed to work the machine.
Yeah, these big ones, they just, because they have a fillet on them, it seems like, so they sort of wiggle around in there until they find their placement. Same as Switchwire, mine is 833. Nice. I have to check to see what my Switchwire was that I built. It was definitely lower than that, but Switchwire is certainly not the most popular Voron. And also I know that not everyone gets serials. I have not serialized everything. I serialized 2 V0s and a and the Switchwire, but I never serialized the 2.4 or the Trident or my third V0. So I've only ever
switchwired one thing. Switchwired. Serial.
What was it?
My original V0. It's the only thing I've ever serialed.
I like to, and I would have. I think that last time I checked, I was almost going to, but I think that the hold on, I gotta focus. I don't burn my hand. I think the process had changed a bit, where it like required a paper like with your Discord. It's like there was an additional step to it, and because previously I think I just submitted like my stream or like the final video I made on it, but when I checked the one time, it seemed like it required more, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll come back to it. And then for me, like I gotta keep moving.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, well, and then I just was like, oh, it's past as the weeks went on. I'm like, well, now like probably a bunch of people have gotten their cereals before, so like I don't know, I just never did.
Yep. I just never bothered. I know Taco yelled at me at Smurf. Like, I say yelled, but like he's like, we do actually use that to help like track.
Yeah.
Like, things like, oh, that kind of makes sense.
I was talking to Sanity, and Sanity also told me the same thing, and I was like, oh, yeah, all right, well, I'll do that, so. I recently got V2.6979, which I've been using for the past year. Oh, well. 69 and still in the 6000 series. I have 5 Vorons and 0 serial numbers. None of my Vorons are serialized. Merc 1 and Cocoa Press are the only serials. I don't think I got... I think Dutch had said that the stream that I had done was enough to serialize it. I don't think it ever actually made it into theirs.
I don't think I thought about that. I don't think Dutch Dude ever gave me a serial on mine. I mean, I didn't... Whatever. I don't really care.
My AirPod, I think, is dying. Let me really quickly switch to my right ear. Say something?
Hello, hello.
Okay, I hear you in both. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I got the M5 in. I'm going to unplug this, switch over to PineSol, do M3. I should be submitting my Micron for serial this week. Nice. Yeah, I do. I don't not like it. I don't know. I don't really have much. I think the first one was exciting for me, especially like getting into the other channels. Like, oh, cool. Like, what's everyone up to and stuff. And then, no, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I did my 0 because it was the first Voron I built, and I was like, yeah, I'm excited to get my serial.
Yep.
And then I built my 2.4, and I was like, I'll get around to that. And then I built like 3 more V0s, and
Yep. When
here we are.
How long ago did you build your 2.4? I know you said it's like been one of your most like rock solid printers, but like when has it been a year or not quite, or yes?
I don't know.
Okay.
I streamed when I very first started it. I think my very first when I started it, I want to say it was like 2 years ago.
Okay, so yeah, it's been a bit.
July of 2022, so it's coming up on 2 years. Is when I started building it. I didn't finish building it. It's been about a year since I finished building it. So.
Gotcha. It was a LD. Yeah, it was an LDO kit, right? No.
Nope. Self-source.
Okay.
Nope. Total self-source.
That's cool.
The exact way I never recommend.
Yeah, my first V0 was self-source, and it caused all sorts of unnecessary pain and frustration.
Yep.
What did you spec it as? Like, as far as what controller and like hot end? I guess mainly controller, hot end, and I think size. I know. I think you said it was 300.
Yeah, it's a 300. Originally, it was Octopus Pro because I wanted to run RepRap firmware originally. So it's Octopus Pro, and then hot end, it was originally a regular Rapido V1.
Okay.
So
what is it now? Because you said originally. What's the?
Well, it's still the Octopus Pro board, but the hot end, I'm running the Next G.
The high flow, like the
UHF adapter on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the newer one they sent us. And I'm running the square frame beta unit in there. Remember, yeah. I was complaining about that. But that's what I'm running in it. So
nice. Okay.
And then actually, quite recently, Max came up with another beta unit for me to put in my 0.1 because I quite like that.
Cool. Yeah, I know you were a fan of it. I think you said it was a creep reason, or it was just for the mounting. I can't remember.
They said it was a heat creep issue. They said it's just the square frame heat creeped.
But you haven't had issues, knock on wood, with that.
I've had a heat creep once on me.
Okay.
I have had a heat creep once on me. I think the problem that they had was probably the like 20 millimeter fan they had on it.
Gotcha.
Because I'm using it in a stealth burner, so it's got a 40 millimeter fan blowing at it, and it just has not been a problem.
Yeah.
It did heat creep on me once with like LDO filament, which I had that same thing happen with the Rapido. So I don't know if that was just maybe a filament issue or what, but I don't print PLA much on it. I print ABS and ASA, which is much more forgiving on heat creep.
Sure,
so.
Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't dealt with heat creep in quite a while, but that's also a good point. I'm doing a lot more styrenes than I am PLA. Jose says self-source is the way. I enjoyed every minute of it. Yeah, I guess I could see it being a personal preference thing. And then Dom says self-source is great if you have a good chunk of hardware. So I also agree with that. Like, if you've got a bunch of pieces, then it's nice being able to. That is nice. There's definitely some pros to that.
The thing for me with self-source, what I always tell people when they ask me about it is, you're gonna pay more. Like, unless you really, really, really shop, you're gonna pay more. Yeah. Because you're going to end up paying tax and shipping on individual transactions versus one with a kit. And that's where, like, oh, I can order this hardware and that motor kit and whatever, but then you pay shipping like $10 here, $10 there, and that adds up a lot.
It definitely adds up. Yeah.
Or you reach that point like halfway through where you swore you had every piece you needed, but you got the wrong length of hardware or something dumb,
Sorry, I just got,
You also end up, I find, with self-sourcing, like if you buy some things you'll buy only come in like, you can only economically come in like 5 counts or something like that.
You end up with a bunch of extra parts, so you're using up your spares. Ends up becoming, now I've got more spares than I had initially. Yeah. The first V0, I did the math, and it was, because I remember quite a few people saying like, oh, the LDO V0 was really expensive, and I looked at the numbers of what I spent on my self-source. I was like, oh, bro, this thing is way cheaper than what I spent by going on Ali, Steppers Online, Canovo, all the different sources for when I was getting things. So it's all perspective, I suppose. I can't actually ream this one, dude. It's too. This one, for some reason, the bigger one is not. Like, I have to file.
I just used a pair of side cutters and like stuck them in like the 45 and kind of did it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time since I did the math, but I'm fairly sure that my oh, you know what you're running into, I bet.
Shit.
Well, I don't know. Is because that hole's not teardropped, the top of it really wants to cave in.
Yep.
I'm
sure that's what it is as well.
My original V0 build that I self-sourced, I think when I did the math, when it was all said and done, I think it cost me like $1,200.
Yep. That sounds real close to what I paid for mine as well.
Yeah, so like an LDO kit looks awfully good at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely, perspective. If you're comparing it to some of the other kits out there, then sure, maybe it costs a little bit more, but comparing it to what it costs to get raw, self-sourcing is unless you've got just a ton of components, it's not going to be cheaper.
Yeah. I mean, like now I was thinking about it since I replaced the frame on the with the DLPDF. I've got a whole LDO frame here now. I'm like, I could probably put together another V0 just out of spare parts.
Yeah.
Except the only thing is I don't have any of the NEMA 14 XY steppers. But there are NEMA 17 mods, so I could do that.
Yeah, so. I've got when I'm moving, I got quite a few just fairly specific components that I'm like, it's tough. Like, shipping on a lot of stuff is pricey, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Shipping sucks, man.
Shipping really can make or break some things.
My V2 kit was expensive, but so worth it. I'm still using the extra hardware that came with it. Are you talking about the LDO? LDO kits always have a bunch of extra hardware, and I also, I mean, for a lot of them, they've ended up in small storage, like cabinet things, or not cabinets, but like screw organizers, and I've used them for tons of builds after being done with that build.
Oh yeah, I do all the time.
Got to value your time actually sourcing everything too. Yeah, that's true. That is a trade-off, absolutely, versus just
yeah. Well, that's what I was. That's kind of what I was saying at the beginning of it. Is like, if you really have the time, and like, if part of the fun of it for you is going to be like getting everything at the absolute best price, and if you got to wait a month for something to go on sale or whatever,
yeah.
like I can see how self-sourcing could both be more economical that way, and also like fun for you if that's something you think is fun.
Yep.
I don't.
Yeah. It just depends on who you are and what you're going for, what you're looking for. It's a hobby, not a job. Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially that. Yeah. And that's one of those things where we have trouble sometimes with this stuff, where like our perspectives get skewed, because it's like,
sure,
I've got to get this video done, and boy, the kit made my life so much easier, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I love everything's got their, like we mentioned, you know, the pros and cons, but like I love that 3D printing in general is not a one shoe fits all, and kits versus self-sourcing is another big example of that. You know, if you don't have the time, but you do have the time to build something, then go with a kit. Or if you're looking for cheapest option that has high quality components, go. If you have an oddly specific config, then you can self-source, or use, like, I know West 3D has the configurator where you can sort of piecemeal. So it just, whatever, yeah, everyone's got their own unique set of wants out of it. So okay, fasten the Y anti-backlash nut to the bottom of the XY plate using M516 button heads. So I imagine we should probably be using Loctite on that as well, and those are going to be beefier Loctite joints because they're M5s. Also, okay, so it's going on the side with the rails then, is what that's...
Yeah, what we have with the rails right now. And the tapered portion goes away from the printed part we have on there right now.
Tapered portion goes away from... Oh shit. Oh, my heart. All of the dummy rails fell out because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh shit.
Yeah, every single one fell out.
Oh no.
I don't think I lost a ball. I'm quite confident I didn't, but I'm looking forward to getting these on. Okay, I'm sliding 2 on. Don't be like me, Alan. Don't be like me. That was not the move. All right. I'm just thankful. I mean, thankful and not thankful. When they fall off, it sucks because they fall off so easily because of how much slack there is. But putting them back on is a piece of cake because how much slack there is. What did
hold up. Millennium's got, well, once you are over your crisis. Oh, there you go. Millennium just chimed in with something we, I guess they might need to reorder this a little bit. Before we put that block on, we need to tune the anti-backlash nuts.
Anti-backlash nut accessibility. When the machine is fully assembled, the rear of the Y-axis is almost impossible to access. To aid in making preload adjustments to the Y-axis.
Well, skip after that. Look down a little bit. There's a orange box that says anti-backlash preload tuning. They recommend we move to that. So effectively what we do is we tighten one side of the brass nut, which this makes perfect sense now that I think about it. Tighten one side of the brass nut, insert the lead screw through it, and then your lead screw on the other side, the other brass nut, isn't necessarily going to immediately engage, so we leave the hardware loose on that side so it has a chance to engage, and then we can tighten that one. Do you get what I'm saying?
So yeah, solidify one, let the second one align, like let the lead screw align the two together, and then lock it in once you pass through the second one. That makes sense.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So it is 2:45 as well, though.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, I feel like we should probably call it. I know we didn't get very far, and I will take my fair share of the blame on that. But for the sake of time, are you good with that? Or do you rather like?
It's fine by me. Honestly, I'm probably going to leave this right here, and I was going to work on my Trident tomorrow, but my new parts from Vitali didn't arrive anyway, so I think I might just leave everything right where it is and pick up with a stream tomorrow on this.
Okay.
So
let's do that then. I will. I'm going to just gently move this whole thing off to the side here, so that way it's in place, because those carriages. And then I will. I don't know, with this, I might try to add a stream, one here and there if I can, just to make some more progress on it. Let me go quickly to the split here. Millennium Machine, I definitely want to say thank you for hanging out. It's been awesome having you in chat, and I think that both of us on our separate streams would be super appreciative if you were around here and there to point out stuff like that, kind of like the angel popping up and being like, no, do this. So
I know it's not particularly easy for them being over in UK, but appreciative whenever they can. Oh. I lost my AirPod. Oh, it's his mic. Okay. I thought my AirPod died, but it's Daniel. Okay. And I'm over here just trying to be quiet. I was just trying to let Daniel talk, but nope. Okay, anyway, hi folks. So Millennium Machines, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I'm going to, my Thursdays are my usual. So Thursday evenings at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I usually stream, and that's where I'm going to pick up.
Hey, can you hear me?
Tomorrow with this. So 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, I'm going to pick back up with my build on the Milo.
Wait, can you hear me? You can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Can chat hear me? Chat can hear me. Chat can hear me. Microphone, real quick. Microphone looks fine.
I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was my AirPods.
Oh shit! I changed. Hold on. Hold on. All right, here we go. Can you hear? You can hear or no?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you, and I think chat can too.
Okay.
So like your microphone dropped out, and then my AirPods dropped out.
Okay. Did you? I was announcing that you were going to be streaming tomorrow. It was the game plan, and that your channel, Mandic Labs, if you're not subscribed, is in. Sorry, Modbot, we prefer the other host now. Feels bad, man. So yeah, if anyone is not following along, Alan's going to be continuing, it sounds like, tomorrow. I will be very likely sticking with the Wednesdays, but I'm going to try to squeeze in 1 or 2 more here, because I do want to make progress on this too. It's also a big machine, and having boxes everywhere is not a great way to not lose things, so ideally I'd like to make progress on this. So we'll play it by ear, and then we will be, at some point, coming together for the final stream, which, dependent on your move and when I finish it, is TBD, but we will announce it, and there might be an exciting announcement around that, which we'll discuss as it gets closer. So yeah, I think that's what I've got. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out and streaming. Again, I apologies, we didn't get very far. I thought we would get further, but you know, it took a lot of time to loop things up. It took a lot of time to unbox things, and you know.
Hey, I got to educate people about the mini grease gun, and you finally gave me a reason to do it. So
this is true. I'm gonna order one too. If you post it again, I'll use your affiliate link as well. So post it somewhere, either send it to me or something. So thank you, everyone.
Just drop
for
it in
hanging
chat.
out.
But yeah.
Okay, I'll click on it right now. Yeah, thank you for all the gifted memberships. I know LDO had a big donation earlier. Thank you, Jason, and everybody else. And yeah, if you've got anything else, I'll let you. No, that's it.
I think we got it. Oh, wait,
okay.
Wait. One very important thing from me.
Okay. Is it Jean?
Jean.
Where's Jean? Is Jean sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there she is. He's curled up. There she is. Why do you disturb me? Bye, Jean. Jean's awesome.
All right. That's it.
All right, bye,
See you, folks.
everybody.